listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Bob Alvis back here with Kyle Haney on the pregame show. We're about 15 minutes away from a approximate tip, so it's going to get started a little early than the 1 o'clock tilt. And
you know, with these big games, Bob, you got to get an early start.
Well, and that's a good thing because, trust me, being here, you know, having done this whole tournament the past couple years, you'll be behind by the end of the day anyway. So you need you need to make it up because, I mean, you never know. Something could go long overtime or here or there. Altavista obviously would like to take care of it in 4 quarters.
They'd love to get it done in regulation, that's for sure, but a win is a win no matter how you get it, especially at this stage of the game. Feels like home for the Colonels, though. The pep band is here, and, of course, you and I were here a week ago with the girls club, and then also of course, we were in Salem last week with the boys, but another arena setting for the guys, so they should be fairly comfortable, I would think, Mr. Alvis.
Jerseys are very similar.
I mentioned that.
Similar, yeah. I mean, you know, the Castlewood Raiders are going to be dressed in the home whites with orange, a solid orange stripe down the side with a little stencil of black on the side of that. Raiders is written on the front in orange, outlined in black, and numerals centered beneath. Altavista is going to be in their road orange. So I'll tell you, normally, Kyle, we can look at the stands and figure out, you know, how the crowd is split. That might be a little tough today, only if we see, you know, obviously recognizing familiar faces helps. But, I mean, by the color of your shirt is not going to be a giveaway.
Yeah, I already seen some familiar faces in the stands, but you're right. Just the fact that you're wearing orange may not be enough in this one tonight. But I think most of the Colonel crowd is posted up and stationed behind the Altavista bench. I don't know what's going on behind us. I think you got some East Rock fans hanging around. And, of course, some of those East Rock girls basketball fans will probably hang around for the Lady Colonels game coming up at 3 after this one. They want to scout out their potential competition. So, and that's another thing we mentioned. You know, there's a lot of that where people will stay for multiple games,
right.
and that's cool. You get to watch a lot of basketball, one location. And a lot of times it is, you know, one team sticking around and watching who they'll have to play and vice versa, who they may play, that sort of thing. And
I recommend it to you. Maybe we should do that at 5 if Altavista wins because West Point plays Perry McClure. And, you know, the other thing, too, Kyle, once you get to this point, you know, single A, and I love VCU, I love Richmond. It's not really the best venue for single A because everybody's having to come so far. So I think a lot of your casual fans who are more of the AAA guys kind of forget about single A, but this place can get rowdy and rocking for single A too.
Yeah, well, you and I have had that discussion. You know, I think people assume, you know, single A, smaller schools, they don't play as well. You know, that's not true. I mean, there's a lot of people in single A basketball that have got game, a lot of very good teams as well, and very good coaches at all levels of our sport. You know, same thing all the way up, Division III basketball up to Division I basketball. You're going to see great stuff all the way around, and I think you definitely got to try and take in as much hoops as you can. We're going to take in, hopefully, a couple Colonel victories in this one here tonight. Subway pregame show, Subway Eat Fresh, 2 great locations in Altavista, Main Street, and also Walmart on the Clarion Road there in Altavista. And, Bob, we talked about it. It's postseason basketball time. Nothing like having the buddies over to listen to or watch a big game with a nice Subway party tray there, the big sub or the sandwich platter. I mean,
totally agree.
You can't go wrong having your friends over and providing that for a meal.
Speaking of friends, we're going to take a break and catch up with one of our friends to kind of recap what's been going on here in Richmond throughout the week before we hit back to the Altavista J.I. Burton contest. You're listening to it, the Subway pregame show on 105.5 KD Country.
You can buy paint from any old yahoo who knows nothing about paint in one of those big box stores. For quality paint from people who really know paint, it's Davis Paints from your complete home center, English's. Davis Paints, which has been known for quality since 1921, is not just sold anywhere. Visit the new paint room at English's, your authorized Davis Paint dealer.
English's is your complete home center.
On North Main Street, Altavista.
Get ready for dazzling ball handling tricks, high-flying slam dunks, and hilarious family comedy. Join the Harlem Ambassadors basketball show on Thursday, March 21st at Altavista High School as they take on the Rotary All-Stars. Get tickets for $5 at Subway and Steve Farmer's Auto Sales or at the door for $7. All proceeds benefit the Altavista Rotary Club Scholarship Fund. For more info, call 841-0063. The Harlem Ambassadors. It's not your grandfather's basketball show.
It's cold in here. Will your heating system keep you warm this winter, or will you spend a cold evening shivering under the covers? Have your heating system inspected today by Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling. Kent Tyree has over 20 years experience and specializes in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical. Licensed and bonded. Call for an appointment today. 309-2266. 309-2266. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Back here on the Subway pregame show, and you see a pretty face on the weekends on WSLS. Jonathan Merriman now making his audio debut, I guess you could say. And Mr. Merriman, you've been up here the whole week checking this out, and it's been eventful. Let's hop right into it. First off, a team that you guys cover quite a bit, the Salem boys and girls, 7 and 9 o'clock on Saturday night, so it's going to make that a little bit hectic, but tell me what each one of them have.
It should be pretty good for the Salem boys. You know, you hear about the big three down in Miami with LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. Well, Salem boys have three big guys of their own. They have Matt Hill, Troy Mann, and Alex Light. Those three guys get it done in the paint. They played up here 2 days ago, and I have not seen them play that well all season long. They're meshing at the right time. I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And the girls, you have Kim Miglarice and you have Tay Taylor, two seniors trying to go out on top for the Salem ladies. And I think they're going to be hard to beat as well, and they might end up with two state title basketball teams at that school.
Yeah, boys will take on Grafton. Grafton last year defeated by Christiansburg, so we'll see if the River Ridge District can continue its domination of the Grafton Clippers. Let's talk a little bit about EC Glass. They had a morning affair yesterday and got put out in the Group AA Division 4 boys rank. Real big guy with Carl Overstreet. Tell me what happened with the Hilltoppers.
They hung with the team that they played for a while, sent it into overtime, but, I mean, your heart had to sink when they played Grafton, I believe,
right.
And Grafton stole a pass and laid it in overtime, and that would be the 2 points that would end up losing the game for the Hilltoppers. And your heart had to sink when you just saw the guys on the bench just become deflated. Coach talked about in post game, he said that brick by brick a castle's made, a grain by grain a loaf, and kind of talking about the season. They started the season 0-3, I believe, and then they built from there, and they ended up in the semifinal game. It's nothing to hang their head on, but certainly those guys were deflated when they left here, but they have nothing to be ashamed of, that's for sure.
Yeah, and we talk about it, it's just getting here. I mean, even if you're not supposed to be here, that's even tougher to get you out.
That's right. You're in Richmond. You're playing at the Siegel Center where VCU plays, so I mean, it's a big-time stage up here, and they leave with an experience that they should be proud of for the rest of their life.
And finally, the Radford boys will take to the court tonight. The Floyd County girls will take to the floor tomorrow. Both two solid teams out of Region C. Kind of give me the lowdown.
Coach Cormany's squad, the Radford boys, they play complete basketball. I mean, both the Floyd County girls and the Radford boys, from watching them practice, they focus heavily on their fundamentals, and that's apparent when the game comes. The Floyd County girls, I mean, you talk about a girls' high school basketball squad that can put up 100 points. That's absolutely unheard of, and these girls do it regularly. So both of these teams are two teams to watch. Coach Cormany's squad, obviously, they're playing good right now. He's going for his 530th VHSL high school win, and he's 6th all-time among active high school coaches right now. So, I mean, that team's tuned up. He's in tune with that team, and they're going for their 3rd state title in 5 years at Radford. So
that's a lot of wins. I'm still trying to.
That is a lot of wins. I think he's 7th or 8th when you throw in prep coaches, just to give you an idea. He's been at that school. This is his 20th year. So to give you an idea of how good that program is, to keep a guy there for 20 years. And also Floyd County's coach, he's been there for 30 years. So, I mean, these are two programs with a lot of consistency and a lot of wins between the two.
And I always say there is a great level of consistency with you and John Appicello at News Channel 10. Jonathan, we will keep our TVs tuned there, and as always, appreciate the time.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Bob.
We'll take a break on the Subway pregame show and come back with more on 105.5 Katy Country.
McDonald's is a proud supporter of the community it serves daily with mouth-watering Big Macs and golden fries. In the spirit of community, McDonald's is pleased to sponsor the Altavista basketball teams as they battle through the tournaments. Good luck. McDonald's is the best place to celebrate a Colonel win, and they always invite you in for a tasty meal. Don't forget to try the new Fish McBites. McDonald's, Main Street in Altavista, cheering the Colonels on to victory.
It's tough out there trying to stretch each paycheck a little farther than the last one. It means cutting costs. And one of the best places to start is at Eric Fletcher State Farm Insurance. Because I'll do a discount double check to make sure you're getting the car insurance discounts you deserve, up to 40%. So give Eric Fletcher State Farm Insurance a call today. Because being there to help keep more of your money in your pocket is why I'm here. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Want a tire that offers enhanced safety for you and your family? See me, your Michelin dealer. Whatever you drive, chances are I have a set of Michelin tires that delivers the safe ride you want for you and your passengers. Michelin's advanced tread designs and special rubber compounds can provide exceptional grip, even on the wettest roads. So drop in today, and I'll help you get the drop on rain this season.
Find the right Michelin tire and get expert service at Perkins Twin Tire Altavista and online at PerkinsTwinTire.com. You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Back here from the Siegel Center in Richmond, Altavista Colonels basketball. About 5 minutes away from tip-off here. Subway pregame show, Subway Eat Fresh. And, of course, like Bob and I talked about, Subway caters. Much like the Colonels, it's a real crowd pleaser. You show up with one of those to the next big game, office function. Or maybe you just get a bunch of subs for yourself. Who cares? Something we do care very near and dear about are our sponsors. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them, the great folks like Select Air. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, never an overtime charge. El Cazador, voted best Mexican restaurant in town by their customers. First National Bank, focused on providing an extraordinary customer experience. Your State Farm agents, Eric Fletcher and Chris Anderson. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Services, a family serving families since 1905. English's, your complete home center, home for James T. Davis Paint. McDonald's, the McDonald's in Altavista is a proud supporter of the Colonels. Try the new Fish McBites. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, keeping you warm in the winter, cool in the summer. The Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road in Altavista. Heard of Moose? Perkins Twin Tire, your home for Michelin Defender tires. Stops up to 31 feet shorter and lasts 21,000 miles longer than the leading competitor. The Rotary Club of Altavista, presenting the Harlem Ambassadors basketball team. That's Thursday, March 21st at Altavista High School. Get your tickets now at Steve Farmer's Auto Sales or the Main Street Subway in Altavista. Also, Feller's Chevrolet, where a short drive will save you money. They sponsor the YouTube rebroadcast if you ever want to hear this one again. And English Construction, wishing our high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game. Of course, streaming audio online at kdcountry.com. Brought to you by Walmart on the Clarion Road in Altavista. Save money, live better. Walmart, two things Bob Alvis tries to do all the time. Isn't that right, Mr. Alvis?
Absolutely. If you're not saving money in today's economy,
you're losing money.
Give it to me.
Oh,
because
okay.
if you've got that much to where you don't need to save, you know, working media row here, Kyle, I feel like everybody's asking me about Altavista. I feel like I'm a mini SID, per se. A lot of good things to talk about, too, with the Colonels, especially what we saw at Salem. I think that was a survive and advance type win because they got out to a big start, and Surrey came on like a house of fire towards the end. But, you know, in the end, Altavista got the victory. And, you know, to me, we always talk about players of the game, not so much play of the game, but Michi Malback with that steal and that layup late, I thought, sealed it really for him.
Yeah, I think it came with about, 45 seconds left, something like that. But you're right, it was a survive and advance type of feel because all the games are like that now. You know, loser goes home, winner gets to keep on playing, winner will get to play the extra game tomorrow for the hardware. And certainly Altavista got a big win, 56-50 over Surrey last week in Salem. We mentioned it already. Bunch of guys playing well in that contest. Not just Malback, but certainly Michi probably with what you can describe as the play of the game with the steal and the layup late. hit some big free throws down the stretch as well. I think he was like 4 for 4 from the free throw line there in the last 2 minutes or something like that, Alvis. So a lot of big plays in that ball game. A lot of big plays in this one, I would imagine. You never know when they're going to come. Does a big play come right off the opening tip, or does it wait to the fourth quarter, with under a minute to go? You just can't ever be sure, especially in these elimination games and state semifinal games when you get so close to bringing home the trophy.
And you heard Altavista's Mike Carlero talk about Region D's representative right now, which is J.I. Burton. The runner-up actually got out of here by knocking off Bland with a buzzer beater in the state quarterfinal. But we saw Aaron Williams. He coached at Castlewood way back when they came into Altavista's Christmas tournament. I want to say somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 to 6 years ago. Really lost a heartbreaker with that Castlewood team, and Castlewood was the Region D champion. So finished runner-up to the Old Mates. But if we talk Region D and we just go in terms of general talk, there are a lot of hard-nosed kids, play hard, and really never give up.
I would agree wholeheartedly. That's sort of the reputation that Region D has. You do find some fast, athletic teams, but more often than not, you do picture, some fundamental, well-schooled ball clubs that you're, like you said, hard-nosed, not going to give up. They're going to fight you tooth and nail. They're going to box out. They're going to do all the little things. And I would argue that Altavista has a lot of those same qualities as well, in addition to having some fantastic athletes. I think Altavista's got a pretty scrappy ball club too, Mr. Al.
Yeah, and the Raiders of J.I. Burton come out of the LPD, which is the Lonesome Pine District, but I would call it more of like, the lunch pail too, because it really is, punch the clock, go in, we're going to work hard for, 32 minutes, and after that, then we'll soak up whatever we have to soak up.
Yeah, and I like the way you phrased that. I think you're exactly right. We'll see if this J.I. Burton team is a reflection of that. I think they probably will be, but again, the Colonels are a reflection of that ethos or that mind state as well, because you think about Altavista, it's man-to-man defense the whole game. It's hey, we're going to relax and play a zone for a couple possessions. Mike Cardellaro, it's defense, defense, defense. And if you're not playing defense, then you're probably going to come out. It doesn't really matter how great you are on offense. Sure, Coach C loves to score like the rest of them. Yeah. But he wants to shut you down on defense first, and then they'll worry about the points later on.
I don't know if he subscribes to the old John Patterson theory that Coach Patterson always used to tell us, where two of the best defenders were going to start, kind of no matter what. So we'll see. But Altavista and Castlewood should be a great affair. We'll take one last time out and come back with the starting lineups and tip right after this on KD Country.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch & Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
It's cold out there. Who are you going to call when that old heater finally breaks down? Select Air, 841-1580. Another question. Who are you going to call this summer when that air conditioner finally kicks the bucket? Select Air, 841-1580. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Never an overtime charge with Select Air. Call Donnie at 841-1580 for a free estimate, or online at selectair.webs.com.
The following is brought to you by English Construction Company.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Virginia high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too. This message presented by the Virginia High School League and the Virginia Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Altavista and J.I. Burton getting ready to get underway. Starting lineups for both squads. Let's start with the J.I. Burton Raiders. They will start number 2, Alex Keys, a 6-foot sophomore forward. Number 3, Irvin Beatty, a 6'1" junior guard. Number 4, Kevin Van Ness, a 5'9" junior guard. Riley Maggard, a 6-foot senior forward. and Mackenzie Blair, a 6'3" senior center. Altavista will counter with Michi Malbeck, 5'8" sophomore guard. Juan Thornhill, a 6'1" sophomore guard. Demetrius Johnson wears number 5, 6'3", sophomore forward. Darius Johnson, twin brother of Demetrius, listed at 6'4". He'll be positioned at the center hole, and he is a sophomore. And finally, Richard Hubbard, number 12, 5'10", junior guard. Rounds out the Colonels lineup. Colonels coached by Mr. Mike Cardellaro. J.I. Burton coached by Aaron Williams, Kyle Haney. We're about ready to get underway.
We're getting close, Bob. We can feel the intensity start to build. And one of the things I noticed looking at the Burton roster, they got some youth going on down there, too. Just 2 seniors. We know Altavista with just the 3 seniors. So possibly a J.I. Burton team that we might be able to see in the future at some point down the road. But let's worry about this one tonight. Tip goes to Burton.
Settle in. You're in for a long day of basketball here on KDE. Burton will start on their right side. It's in the hands of Van Ness. Van Ness gives it up. Beatty. Back to Van Ness between the circles. Right side it goes to Blair. Blair back over to Van Ness. Now back to Beatty. Beatty guarded by Malbeck. Beatty will come right side. Beatty looking for somewhere to go. Michi all over top of him. Beatty gets it back to Maggard. Now Maggard gives it down low. Keys comes around, no good on the shot, rebounded by Darius Johnson.
Good defense early by the Colonels, and they really have a size advantage on J.I. Burton, Bob. The tallest guy out there for Burton is Irvin Beatty, and he's only about 6'1". He is playing on the wing, though, so maybe he's a little bit like the man with the ball right now, Juan Thornhill. Maybe he's just a tall guard out there.
Thornhill goes over to Hubbard. Now to Malbeck. You saw by the score of the J.I. Burton-Castlewood game, which was in the 40s, that the Raiders don't mind keeping it low as well. So
right.
This could be, first to 50 gets one. Malbeck left side for 3. No good. Shots off, rebounded by J.I. Burton's Van Ness. Now skip down low into the hands of Maggard. Driving in, shot is up, and it's going to fall down. That's going to be Keys.
First bucket of the game, 2-0. J.I. Burton leads early. 6:30 to play here in the first quarter, Mr. Alvis. And a tough shot right there. Nice defense by Altavista. Just couldn't prevent the 2-pointer.
Colonels walking it up. Last time Altavista guys proceeded the girls. The result worked out halfway. Worked out for this team on the floor right now, though. Demetrius Johnson left side over to Malbeck. Now Michi back over to Thornhill.
Yeah, Burton in his zone defense. Another 3-pointer on the way from Michi.
It's off. Rebounded by Keys. Mike Cardellaro said he thought J.I. Burton would switch up a lot of things. And, when you switch up, I think there's 2 sides to it. It keeps the other team guessing of what you're going to do. Blair with it. Blair loses it. Picked up by Thornhill. Now Thornhill finds Demetrius, filling the lane, and Johnson lays it in. It's 2-2.
Great job on the fast break there, and a perfect description by you. He filled the lane. Thornhill went wide. That left the lane open. Demetrius ran right through the middle of it and caught the nice pass and a good finish.
Beatty with the rock, guarded by Malbeck. Beatty on the left side near that Colonel's bench. Colonel's going to our left here in quarter or in half one. J.I. Burton to our right. The thing I was going to say about the switching up defenses is it can make the other team guess. Well, sometimes it can make you guess. Am I in the right zone?
Right. You can't change too much. I mean, it's nice to mix it up, but you can't get so multifaceted that you're not good at any one thing. And I think that's part of the reason why the Colonels are so good at their man-to-man defense. They don't change it up.
Thornhill gives it up. Richard for 3 from the corner. No good. Rebounded by Keys. Adjustment time. I know you shot on a big floor at Salem. Do you have to get adjusted to this one? Travel by Beatty.
Good defense by Altavista and good recovery by Malbeck. No, I don't think you got to make any adjustments just yet. We're a little under 2 minutes gone here. 3 minutes gone in the first quarter. Not time to panic, not time to make any adjustments. Keep shooting the threes. If they're not falling in the first half, then you might make an adjustment in the locker room and say we're going to drive more. But right now, keep playing your game if you're Altavista.
Hubbard with it over to Thornhill. I guess my question was, how long does it take you to get adjusted? Just for the backdrop and
that's a good question. I think that's probably different for each guy. Some guys doesn't take long at all. Some guys it may take a whole game. You never know.
Michi over to Demetrius. Johnson stops inside. Can't get the shot. Thornhill tries to come in, flying for the rebound, but it's rebounded by Keys. Keys gives it off to Van Ness. Now to Beatty. Keys fills. Keys left side. No good. Blocked by Demetrius. Keys with the goggles. Saw that one come back to him. Michi on the drive. Left-handed layup. It's not going to go down. Rebounded by Rebounded by Burton, and foul is going to go against Darius Johnson.
Yeah, Irvin Beatty grabbed the loose ball there, and Darius a little out of position, picks up his first foul. First foul of the game for anybody. 4:20 to play. We're tied up 2-2 in the first period.
Almost halfway home here in quarter one, and the score is 2-2. Van Ness guarded by Hubbard. Hubbard staying right with Van Ness. Van Ness gives it up. It's in the hands of Keys. Keys drives in, tries to leave it for Beatty. Beatty has it go through the wickets. Ball still loose on the carpet, picked up by Darius. Now over to Michi. Ball back to Thornhill. Thornhill sees a seam. Thornhill goes. Free throw line jumper. It's going to rattle out. And the foul, I don't know if it was really in the act of shooting. Van Ness is going to get called for it, I believe.
And they're going to give him 2 shots, but I'm with you. I would maybe, if I was J.I. Burton's fan contingent, argue that he was on the floor. Juan made the contact. And the defensive player was certainly out of position. It was the right call. It's just a question of when did it come. But 2 free throws here for number 2. And Deuce is wild, apparently, because number 2's at the line, and we get a 2-2 ball game, Bob. There was 2:22 left. It'd be really scary.
Only thing that could make it better.
Yep.
Thornhill misses the first, hits the second one, 3-2.
That'll change it up a little bit. 1 for 2 that trip by Mr. Juan Thornhill.
So Burton got out to a 2-0 lead. Colonels have scored the next 3. Basketball in the hands of Blair. Blair will give it back to Beatty. Keys trying to get position. Thornhill guarding Keys on the post. You got Demetrius up top with Beatty. Down to Van Ness, top of the key. Van Ness turns, goes right side, gives it right off to Blair. Blair drives in, guarded by Darius. Blair has to give it to Keys. Keys loses it, picks it back up. Shot is up, no good. Rebounded by Darius. Now over to Thornhill. And Juan will dribble it up the right side. Off to Malbeck. Michi catches. Michi to the free throw line. Nice bounce pass underneath to Darius. And they're going to say the ball goes out of bounds, and it's going to stay to Altavista.
Coach Aaron Williams telling his J.I. Burton team to settle down a little bit. I think Coach Mike Cardellaro for the Colonels is probably somewhat pleased with the way his team's playing right now, certainly on defense. But, again, he'd probably like a little bit more points. He's going to run a set play now here against this 2-3 zone. Burton's been in the zone pretty much the whole game, Bob. I think they have for their entirety. I don't think any man-to-man yet for J.I. Burton.
Hubbard over to Malbeck. Now back to Thornhill. Thornhill. Left side, inside the arc. Now backs it back out with the right with a one-handed fling to Richard. Demetrius, corner, jumpers up, not going to fall down. Rebound right into the hands of Thornhill off the carom, and Juan sticks in 2. It's 5-2.
Yeah, redirect came down to Juan Thornhill, right place, right time, but it's never a bad idea to be around the basket. That's where Juan was on that play.
Blair gets rid of it, and a foul is going to be called against Altavista. It's on the floor. It's on Richard Hubbard. It's the second one on Altavista as a team. Comes with 2:39 to go in quarter one. Colonels lead 5-2.
Jacob McClure enters the ball game. First substitute of the game for the Colonels. Comes in for Richard Hubbard. And you remember McClure last week, Bob, didn't play a whole lot in the first half against Surrey. In fact, I don't think he played at all, but he was very big in the second half. Played some fantastic defense and picked up those 2 charges.
Irvin Beatty with the basketball. Beatty gets past Demetrius. Now Beatty gives it off. Shot is up. No good. Rebounded by Juan Thornhill, and that was in traffic. 2 white jerseys from J.I. Burton right around. McClure catches, corner, 3, it's up, not going to fall down. Rebounded by Beatty. Beatty on the right side, back to Van Ness. Now to Blair. Blair finds Keys. Keys with the extra pass to Maggard. And a whistle.
It's on Jacob McClure, I believe, Bob. Should be Altavista's 3rd as a team.
You're right on both accounts, Mr. Haney. 3rd foul on the Colonels, 1st on Jacob McClure. And this will bring in Mr. Eric Poindexter, and we talk about veterans. Eric Poindexter, definitely the veteran of this Colonel crew.
Great point. He's been around for a while, been in a bunch of these big games, and we've talked about that a lot all postseason long. He's got the most postseason experience of everybody on this Altavista roster.
Colonel's playing man-to-man. J.I. Burton might have the advantage as Beatty goes in. Not going to go down. Beatty's pulling Demetrius out, way out in three-point land, where Demetrius normally is not D'ing up guys in the dogwood.
But Demetrius has got some speed. He can hang with them. It might be a bit of a mismatch, but I don't think it's going to burn Altavista too bad.
Poindexter over to Thornhill, left side. Juan drives all the way in, makes the extra pass, bounces it over to Darius, and Darius puts it in the hole. Altavista leads by 5.
Great look by Juan Thornhill. Burton coming down very quickly in transition.
Beatty pull-up jumper, they'll bounce around and fall down. I'll tell you, that got its real estate worth on the rim. 7-4. as Beatty sticks in his first deuce of the night.
It stayed on the rim so long, Bob, it might have its real estate license now.
Minute 18 to go. Could have read your kid a short story before that ball came down. Poindexter between the circles. Left side to Juan. Thornhill puts it on the floor. Juan will pull it back out. Now over to Poindexter. Eric between the circles looking for somewhere to go. Now over to Thornhill. One day before the championships start coming out here in Richmond. Colonels hope they're a part of those festivities. Thornhill, smooth as silk from the right corner, 9-4.
Juan Thornhill really playing outstanding. The great bounce pass on the last possession for the assist to Darius. This time he does it himself, just pulls up from about 12 feet, knocks down a nice smooth jumper.
Drive by J.I. Burton, no good. Rebounded by Darius Johnson. Maggard couldn't get it to fall.
Altavista really dominating on the glass, Mr. Alvis. I mean, Burton didn't have anybody around that rebound.
Demetrius, free throw line, back off to Poindexter. Eric catches. Now back over to Thornhill. Colonels might hold for one with 20 seconds left. Poindexter in the corner, now back out to Thornhill. Left side it goes to McClure. Now free throw to Demetrius. Johnson spins, gives it back out to Thornhill. Down to 10. Thornhill will pull the jumper himself. Front iron, no good. Rebound is going to come down to J.I. Burton. Burton was going out of bounds with it, tried to save it. And now,
gotta go.
Beatty with two, with one. He'll hoist it from deep. The three is going to be short, and that will do it for the first quarter of play. So not exactly an offensive explosion in quarter one, but the Colonels will take it because they have 9. J.I. Burton has 4. We're back after this 1-minute timeout on your home for Altavista basketball, 105.5 KD Country.
You can buy paint from any old yahoo who knows nothing about paint in one of those big box stores. For quality paint from people who really know paint, it's Davis Paints from your complete home center, English's. Davis Paints, which has been known for quality since 1921, is not just sold anywhere. Visit the new paint room at English's, your authorized Davis Paint dealer.
English's is your complete home center.
On North Main Street, Altavista.
A short drive will save you money.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. The absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Feller Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Feller Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Bob Alvis, Kyle Haney alongside from the lovely campus at VCU, the Siegel Center, Verizon Wireless Arena. Darius Johnson looking to make a phone call with 2, but he cannot, and he will go to the line.
Yeah, and this gives us a chance, Bob, to talk about our KD Country Instant Auction. 2 days away, Mr. Alvis. This Saturday, starts at 9. Plenty of great stuff, food, all kinds of amazing items. Just found out we're going to have a subscription to the Altavista Journal that we're going to auction off, Mr. Alvis. And I know you like to be informed.
I do.
You can read about this game in there. First shot, up and in by Darius on the free throw as the stats come around. So, Bob, better stop talking. Bob's got plenty to talk about. Right now, the Colonel's got plenty to talk about as well. 10-4 lead.
10-4 is our score. Altavista by 6. Darius sings 2. And Altavista gets up by 7. But, you know, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And Colonels got up big on Surrey, too, and had to withstand a furious Cougar rally.
Great point.
New face in for J.I. Burton is Austin Johnson, number 10. Gets it off to Mackenzie Blair. Blair is guarded by Darius. Darius with the long pause up, and travel is going to be the call against Keys. You know, one thing you talk about Darius and Demetrius is just with their length. I think that's where they disrupt on the perimeter, where Juan can stay with you quickness-wise. Not saying Darius and Demetrius are slow, but the pause
but
up
great,
in the air.
Great point. Got the extra wingspan, so it's harder to see to make those passes, and it's harder to get by with the dribble. Altavista couldn't get by with the pass there as J.I. Burton knocked it out of bounds.
Hubbard on the defense, and that is picked up down on the far end of media row, and that always is the signal of eyes open, heads up at all times.
Another one of your favorite sayings, but
that's not a saying. That's just a general rule of thumb.
Life lesson. Colonels lead 11-4 right now over J.I. Burton. You hold a team to 4 points in the first quarter, Bob. Again, that's basically like pitching a shutout in any other sport. Pretty impressive defensive effort by the Colonels.
Thornhill over to Michi. Now back to Thornhill. Now over to Hubbard. Hubbard to Thornhill between the circles. Perry McClure will play West Point at 5. And the winner of that one will play the winner of this one tomorrow around 3:45. And we'll have a light show tomorrow if we're here for it.
If we're here, that's right. Don't want to jinx anything. Altavista certainly doesn't. Thornhill driving. Now they lose a basketball.
Basketball on the rug, picked up by J.I. Burton. Beatty out in front, but has to pull it back. Now Beatty drives all the way in. It's going to be fouled. If it's on Darius, it's number 2. And it is on Mr. Johnson. Yeah, so the Dogwood Player of the Year now has 2 fouls with 6:36 to go in quarter 2. Well, Colonels lead 4.
And we talked about it, a little bit of foul trouble last week against Surrey in the region, keep saying region, in the state quarterfinal last week. You certainly don't want your big gun to get in too much foul trouble. Colonels still lead 11-4. First free throw, no good from Mr. Irvin Beatty.
On the floor for Altavista right now, you have Jacob McClure, Richard Hubbard, Darius Johnson, Demetrius Johnson, and Michi Malbeck. Lady Colonels will be on after this one as they'll take on Clintwood. Beatty's second free throw goes down. It's 11-5. And really important for Burton, if they're not going to get a lot from the field goal, to really sink them at the free throw line.
Great point. I mean, Altavista's defense has been so solid that, you got to take advantage of every opportunity you can, and maybe it'll come from the free throw line for J.I. Burton.
Hubbard over to Michi. Now back to Hubbard. Pitch and catch. Darius now included in the game. Back out to Hubbard. Now over to Malbeck. Swings it to McClure. McClure, three-pointer from the left corner, and it goes down.
Jake the Snake from the left corner. 3-ball corner pocket, as Mr. Mark Slusher would say, and that prompts a timeout from Mr. Aaron Williams. He's the coach of J.I. Burton.
And that will prompt words from our sponsors. 14-5 Altavista with 6:05 to go in quarter 2 on KD Country.
I'm Todd Hall, president of First National Bank. For over 100 years, we have proudly served our customers in Central Virginia, and we're excited about continuing to provide financial solutions into the future. At First National Bank, our focus is on you, the customer, and delivering a very high level of service is our top priority. In fact, our employees are empowered to make decisions that provide you an extraordinary customer experience. So stop in one of our 8 local branches and give us a try. First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Altavista leads 14-5 over J.I. Burton. Bob Alvis alongside my partner in crime, Mr. Kyle Haney. On the floor for Altavista right now, you've got Darius, Demetrius, Richard Hubbard, Jacob McClure, and Michi Malbeck. One guy missing, Juan Thornhill, but you would hope he'll be back pretty soon, but he's having a few adjustments done. Beatty misses.
Yeah, Burton's got the rebound, then they lost it after the missed shot. Yeah, I think Juan's getting his ankle taped by Angela Emerson, the trainer for Altavista. He walked off under his own power. I don't think it's anything serious, but the fact that they're taping his ankle, you do have to certainly keep an eye on that. Maybe that slows him down a step when he does come back in.
Michi with the basketball. Malbeck drives all the way in, jump stop, now looking for somewhere to go, goes inside to Darius. Johnson kicks back to Malbeck. Malbeck finds McClure left side, now into Darius. Johnson, head fake, shot up and shot in.
Nice play right there. That's why he's the district player of the year. The subtle little head fake gets the Burton defenders off their feet, and he sticks it in off the window for 2 more.
What do you think Burton said during that timeout? 16-5, they trail.
Great question. They got to find a way to score. I think maybe it's spacing. I think they tend to bunch up a little bit. I mean, you can see it right now, Bob. Got a lot of guys right next to each other on offense.
Underneath, the reverse layup by Maggard, no good, rebounded by Altavista.
And Burton's got to send some people to the glass, too. Altavista's really dominating here in this second quarter on the rebounds. I mean, Burton, can you recall them getting an offensive rebound?
No.
Exactly.
Demetrius at the free throw line, puts it on the floor now over to Hubbard. Hubbard lobs it over top. Darius has to go after it. Jump ball, tug of war. And official runs in just in case anybody's temper was going to flare, but I think that's just good old-fashioned basketball.
Yeah, 2 guys hustling hard after the basketball, and you're not going to win a lot of tug-of-wars against Darius Johnson, but the jump ball does come out. No, I haven't tried. I'm not going to get in line to try either. Juan Thornhill back in the game. He joins Demetrius, Richard Hubbard, Jacob McClure, and Michi Malbeck.
I was going to say, if you're looking for me to be the anchor on that one, you can forget it.
2-on-1, we might have a chance.
Michi Malbeck looking to go 1-on-0. He's going to the basket, lays it up and in.
Boy, very reminiscent of that play last week, Bob. He sticks the paw out, gets the steal, finishes the layup with a couple people draped on his back.
And I'll tell you, I saw Aaron Williams making the motion of, hey, let's go and let's get it down. Carry on Beatty. I think if you're trying to play let's go and get it down against Altavista, you're almost playing into their hands to a degree.
Absolutely. 18-5, Colonel's lead right now. 4:18 to play here in the first half. Subway halftime show to follow. Thornhill is going to walk this basketball up, and it looks like J.I. Burton has gone into the man-to-man now, Bob. Maybe that was the adjustment in the timeout, or one of them anyway.
Well, you would like to hope a Colonel's lead will be going with them to the Subway halftime show. McClure tries to go down low to Demetrius. Beatty takes it away, and Beatty's going to be hammered hard.
Pick your Colonel on that one because there were three of them around. Let's see who the whistle is on. You're right.
It's his second. Colonels have 5 fouls, Kyle. 2 of them are to McClure. 2 of them are to Darius Johnson. 1 of them is to Richard Hubbard.
Yeah, they've spread them out with the exception of McClure and Darius. You know, that's the 2 guys with multiple fouls. Jacob McClure takes a seat, and he sits beside the aforementioned Darius Johnson.
Clock will read 4 minutes. Beatty drives in. Beatty gets it to go with the up and under.
And he
18-7. I was getting ready to say I wasn't going to be surprised if he headed to the line. Lady Colonels leave their seats, and they will go back to their locker room to get ready for the next game as they get to play the double. Walker in the game now for Altavista, joining Thornhill, Hubbard, Malbeck, and Demetrius Johnson. Malbeck drives in, Michi off the window and in.
Nice move right there. Little spin move after he caught the pass. Attacking the rim. 20-7. Altavista stretching the lead out.
I don't think this is what Aaron Williams drew up in the timeout. Get in a hole. And they're going to call a foul on the floor. I think it's on Malbeck. Michi wondering what part of the body he got. But it will be the first foul on Malbeck. The 6th one on Altavista. It comes with 3:23 to go here in quarter 2. And Altavista up in front, 13.
And we've talked about it a lot, Bob. The fouls may end up being the saving grace for J.I. Burton if they can get to the foul line a bunch.
They're getting to it now.
I know Altavista's just been whistled again. Let's see who this is on.
It's on Walker, I think.
Looks like you're right. 17 fouls on Altavista. They lead 20-7, but J.I. Burton will be on the free throw line in a bonus situation for the duration of this quarter.
Raiders have only committed 2 team fouls. Maggard at the stripe. And the first one is in, and by Maggard, 20-8. And again, if you're Burton, I think every trip to the free throw line, I don't want to say imperative, but pretty doggone important.
Right. You can't leave points out there, and if you're either team, but particularly, as we've always said, when you're the team that's trailing, you got to take every opportunity you can to get back in the game, score without the clock moving. J.I. Burton does that right there. Both free throws good, that trip.
And guess what? The free throws in the second quarter count just as much as they do in the fourth quarter.
Right, exactly.
Malbeck with the basketball. Michi puts it on the floor with his left, gives it off to Juan Thornhill. Juan to the free throw line, passes back to Hubbard. Richard sends it right back to Juan, middle of the floor. Thornhill goes left to Malbeck. Malbeck looking to bounce, pass it over to Walker. Walker covered, so instead he'll cross-court it to Richard Hubbard. Hubbard in the corner to Walker. Walker for 3. Josh is going to be short on that, rebounded by Demetrius. Johnson keeps the pivot foot, takes it up, and he's going to the line. Man down for J.I. Burton as Van Ness will come up a little slow.
Yeah, he went down hard. You know, Demetrius went down hard on the play too, but he popped up a lot faster than Kevin Van Ness did. 2 free throws for Demetrius Johnson. We talked about it's important to make them from the stripe when you're trailing. Well, pretty important to make it when you're leading, too. Canavis Jones at the table, ready to check in. First one does go up and in for number 5, Demetrius Johnson.
2 fouls on Van Ness. And I'll tell you, we gush over the performance of Juan Thornhill, 13 boards on Saturday. We gush over Michi Malbeck's outstanding performance, where I think he threw in 21. Demetrius was really the solid hand, though, all over.
Absolutely. Demetrius can beat you a lot of different ways on the glass, shooting the basketball, driving, makes the free throw there with a little friendly shooter's bounce that time. 2 of 2 for Demetrius on that trip.
It's a 13-point working margin for Altavista with 2:40 to go. Malbeck almost gets a steal. Beatty will take it up. Short jumper from the corner, no good. Rebounded by Richard Hubbard. Gets it off to Navy Jones. Canavis back over to Juan Thornhill. Thornhill across the timeline. Juan right in front of the bench. Perry McClure is in front of us to our left. West Point is in front of us to our right. Getting here a little early, but they've got a keen interest in this one, both of them, for right now.
Yeah, winners will play each other. Altavista 22-9 they lead right now, and it looks like J.I. Burton's gone back into the zone, Bob. They're not really stretching it out past the three-point line.
Demetrius drives in, gives it off to Navy. Kanavis drives all the way in. Navy puts it up, can't get it to fall. Rebounded by Mackenzie Blair. Blair off to Van Ness. Van Ness picks it up, now off to Beatty. Beatty guarded by Malbeck. Now gives it up to Van Ness. Inside to Blair. Blair has to go back to Van Ness. Thornhill gambles and hits a jackpot. The steal. Thornhill all the way up. Finger rolls it in. Lays it up right in front of the Colonel's cheerleading section and one. I didn't hear the whistle.
Oh, yeah, he was fouled. He hit the deck hard, and a great finish by Juan Thornhill with the finger roll, looking like an old-school Magic Johnson type of play. He just levitated in the air, Bob, and you're going to get another timeout from J.I. Burton before the free throw.
Foul's going to go against Van Ness. This is third, the more troubling stat for J.I. Burton. They're down 15, 1:41 to go in the first half of play. We'll take this timeout as well on 105.5 KD Country.
Heard of Moose? The Altavista Moose Family Center proudly supports Altavista High School athletics. Moose International is a family-centered, community-based organization that has been serving the Altavista area since 1952. The Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road in Altavista wants to wish the Colonel basketball teams good luck in the playoffs. Give the Moose Family Center a call at 369-6945 today to see how they're bringing together the Altavista community. Moose, a family fraternity.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Bob Alvis and Mr. Kyle Haney alongside for the Virginia High School League State Semifinal Group A Division I. 24-9 Altavista right now, all up in the face of J.I. Burton, and the Raiders are looking for some answers.
Bit of a low-scoring first quarter, Bob, 9-4, but Altavista certainly picked up their production quite a bit. 24-9, they lead now, a little bit more of the scoring pace that we're used to from the Colonels. And Juan Thornhill can make it 25 here if he can finish off a nice three-point play from the free throw line.
Thornhill looking to register point number 8 on the evening for himself. And I'll probably still call it evening, even though it is clearly daytime. Juan rims it out. Thornhill chased after the rebound, could not get to it in time. Now picked up by J.I. Burton. Beatty gets past Malbeck, who slips. Michi hustles back, though, and puts himself between Beatty and the basket. Now to Mackenzie Blair. Blair, bounce pass down to Beatty. Beatty on the block. Beatty takes it up. No good. Rebound is loose. And it's going the other way. I think they're going to say the foul is on Beatty. And that is only the 5th team foul against J.I. Burton's. Beatty's first. And the problems are not getting better for Coach Williams' squad.
No, Aaron Williams is going to have to find something to slow Altavista down and find some way to score some more points. 1:15 to go here in the first half. It looks like Burton's gone back into the man-to-man, Bob.
Thornhill over to Malbeck. Michi with it. Michi drives in with the left, now switches over to the right. Passes out to Hubbard, now to Thornhill. Thornhill shovels it back to Demetrius. Johnson had it knocked out of his hands. Picked up by Maggard. Maggard gives it off to Keys. Keys leaves it for Blair. Blair on the right wing, guarded by Demetrius, goes down low to Beatty. Beatty doubled. Hubbard tries to contest it, but Beatty really has a bit of a frame advantage on Hubbard and Malbeck as he was kind of doubled in a way, 24-11 Altavista.
Just found a way to split right between Malbeck and Hubbard. And a nice finish there off the window and in. Gets the Raiders into double-digit points. Juan Thornhill going to back it up. He knows the time, and he's looking at Coach Cartolero as well. Now they'll step out and guard him and at least make him do something. Down to 24 seconds, Bob.
Juan with the basketball, and you were talking about Juan really being a student of the game and a historical. They watched the highlight video on the trip up to, I believe it was East Rock, or up to Page when they played Page in the regional final, and Juan was getting really jazzed off watching that old school Altavista stuff.
Better get jazzed up here. 6 seconds to play and a half.
Thornhill splits the defense himself, tries to go up underneath, rejected by the rim, picked up by J.I. Burton, and Navy Jones just puts his hands on the basketball and saying Austin Johnson's not going to get a shot up there. We have played 16 minutes from VCU. 24-11, Altavista leads over J.I. Burton on your home for Colonels basketball, 105.5 KD Country.
Try a variety of daily lunch specials priced under $4 at El Cazador Restaurant. The people that brought the first Mexican food to the area 13 years ago and still going strong 7 days a week. Come by for Mexican or American food, all reasonably priced, with drink specials and great service too. Voted best Mexican restaurant by you, their customers, El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, Main Street in Altavista. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant thanks you for your loyalty and your business.
Get ready for dazzling ball handling tricks, high-flying slam dunks, and hilarious family comedy. Join the Harlem Ambassadors basketball show on Thursday, March 21st at Altavista High School as they take on the Rotary All-Stars. Get tickets for $5 at Subway and Steve Farmer's Auto Sales or at the door for $7. All proceeds benefit the Altavista Rotary Club Scholarship Fund. For more info, call 841-0063. The Harlem Ambassadors. It's not your grandfather's basketball show.
It's cold in here. Will your heating system keep you warm this winter, or will you spend a cold evening shivering under the covers? Have your heating system inspected today by Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling. Kent Tyree has over 20 years experience and specializes in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical. Licensed and bonded. Call for an appointment today. 309-2266. 309-2266. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Altavista leads 24-11 over J.I. Burton here at intermission. Bob Alvis and Kyle Haney alongside, and KH Altavista really is kind of stepped on the throats of J.I. Burton early, but everybody knows basketball, game of runs, game of halves, game of momentum. Right now, Colonels have it, but you got to keep it.
Yeah, we touched on it a little bit. I mean, they had the big lead against Surrey. It was 17 at one point. That got cut way down to like a 2-point lead, I think, there in the fourth quarter. So you just don't know what's going to happen. You always got to keep the foot on the gas. 24-11. Altavista leads right now. Pep band for the Colonels here and making some noise. Cheerleading squad is here as well. And a nice fan contingent has made the trip from Altavista, Bob. And, of course, they're looking forward to 2 basketball games. Of course, the Lady Colonels will play after us, scheduled to start around 3, may even start a little bit early. We're excited about that one. We're excited about this one. 24-11 lead right now for the Altavista Colonels at half.
And I was going to say, if you're a Colonels fan here, you really have to pace yourself. You want to put forth a lot of energy, but you got another game to cheer for as well, as the Altavista Lady Colonels will be taking on Clintwood in our next one. And I'll tell you, it's really you really got to keep track of your woods in that next game, because you've got Clintwood and Northwood played in the in that state quarter. So,
and you had Castlewood before us, who you've already made the mistake and called Burton Castlewood a few times. But
only 2 or 3 so far.
It is hard to keep the woods all straight, but we know it's a Subway halftime show, and we always keep that straight, Bob. Subway Eat Fresh, $3 breakfast combos. And let me send out a few shout-outs while we're here on the Subway halftime show. Big shout-out to Oscar Briggs of Big O. Know he's listening. Big shout-out to Dave Haney, still on vacation in sunny Palm Springs or Palm Desert. It's something with a palm in it, I think. But I think they may have gotten some snow there, too, so maybe it's not that sunny. But, hey, big shout-out to the guy that does the Harlem Ambassadors commercial that we just heard. That guy's got a great radio voice, and the production on that as well. The producer for that one, big shout-out to her. It was Eleanor Haney. She's a producer for us right now as well. So
I would like
doing
to
a great
say
job.
hello to Ace Eubank, who's listening back home, and I hope Miss Dalton is listening as well, the future Mrs. Harris. So I don't know if that's good news for her. I know it's good news for Troy, but we'll talk about that later. We'll take another break, come back and talk some more stuff here on the Subway halftime show. Intermission reads Colonels 24, J.I. Burton 11 on 105.5 KD Country.
Chris Anderson is the newest State Farm agent in Altavista, and he wants you to know that he's there for you. With the discount double check, Chris Anderson will help you find the best price for your car, home, or life insurance. Check out Chris Anderson today, Main Street in Altavista. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
McDonald's is a proud supporter of the community it serves daily with mouth-watering Big Macs and golden fries. In the spirit of community, McDonald's is pleased to sponsor the Altavista basketball teams as they battle through the tournaments. Good luck. McDonald's is the best place to celebrate a Colonel win, and they always invite you in for a tasty meal. Don't forget to try the new Fish McBites. McDonald's, Main Street in Altavista, cheering the Colonels on to victory.
Want a tire that offers enhanced safety for you and your family? See me, your Michelin dealer. Whatever you drive, chances are I have a set of Michelin tires that delivers the safe ride you want for you and your passengers. Michelin's advanced tread designs and special rubber compounds can provide exceptional grip, even on the wettest roads. So drop in today, and I'll help you get the drop on rain this season.
Find the right Michelin tire and get expert service at Perkins Twin Tire Altavista and online at perkinstwintire.com. You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Back here from Richmond, the VCU Siegel Center, Bob Alvis, and I sent Kyle Haney off to run a few errands. And I'm nothing if but equal opportunity. Justin Feldkamp of ABC 13 joins us. Full Court Press, the only local high school basketball highlight show, runs every Friday night. I say tune in at 11 and watch Lynn Stevens talk for a while and Sean Sublett, but then Justin and Dennis take control. Altavista has been a team that has been in the top 13 all year and towards the top, and they're really proving why in this one, 24-11. What did you see in the first half?
A balanced attack, a team that's aggressive on both ends of the floor. They're playing really well right now. This is an impressive bunch that Mike Cardellaro has. You just look at their starting five. They start 4 sophomores and a junior, and you look at their complete roster, and there's 2 seniors listed here. So, to get to this level, state semifinals, is very impressive.
And they're really athletic across the board, especially with those sensational sophomores that used to be 3. Then Michi's kind of started playing well lately. And, a lot of those guys come over from the gridiron to where Altavista had a good season over to here, and I just think it just carries over.
Definitely. Kids know how to win, whether it's in football, baseball, basketball, whatever sport you're talking about. Altavista, obviously, Cardellero's proven year in and year out that he is the coach and has the coaching caliber to get teams to Richmond, and they've done it year after year after year, and to do it with a bunch of young kids, this is impressive. But you brought up Michi Malbeck, and I think that's kind of been the key player for them in this playoff run, especially in the regionals. He put 20-plus points up the other night, and they are really playing well, especially with him as a catalyst.
What would be your concern with half number 2 coming up if you're Altavista?
Continue the intensity. Sometimes kids can see that 24-11 lead and kind of play to the level of the competition. And right now they are heads and shoulders above J.I. Burton right now. But I would just, if I'm Coach Cardellaro, I'm in the locker room telling them, hey, what we did in the first half, we have to repeat what we did in the second half.
Friday night is the season finale, if I'm not mistaken, of Full Court Press. What can we expect?
You can expect the Altavista Colonel Bands to lead us off. We just taped a little segment for those that watch the show. The Full Court Press starts right now, so you can look forward to that. But I just finished up some of the profiles for the first team, boys and girls, all Full Court Press teams. So the 5 best boys and 5 best girls from Lynchburg, Danville, Roanoke, and all points in between will be recognized. We'll have those profiles on WSET.com, plus all the coverage from here, from Richmond, all the teams still alive. Salem boys and girls will play for state titles Saturday night. We'll see if Altavista boys and girls can do the same, but we'll have your state tournament coverage and the ultimate trifecta as well.
Man, I can't wait for Friday already. Justin, as always, appreciate your time, and it's a long week. We might catch up with you again here soon.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Justin Feldkamp here on the Subway Halftime Show. We'll be back with action right after this on 105.5 KD Country.
It's tough out there trying to stretch each paycheck a little farther than the last one. It means cutting costs. And one of the best places to start is at Eric Fletcher State Farm Insurance. Because I'll do a discount double check to make sure you're getting the car insurance discounts you deserve, up to 40%. So give Eric Fletcher State Farm Insurance a call today. Because being there to help keep more of your money in your pocket is why I'm here. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
It's cold out there. Who are you going to call when that old heater finally breaks down? Select Air, 841-1580. Another question. Who are you going to call this summer when that air conditioner finally kicks the bucket? Select Air, 841-1580. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Never an overtime charge with Select Air. Call Donnie at 841-1580 for a free estimate or online at selectair.webs.com.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch and Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Bob Alvis, Kyle Haney. I gave Kyle an opportunity to check out the great food here at Richmond, and we'll talk about that in a moment, how it's going to relate to where you can get some great food on Saturday.
Ooh, I like it, Bob.
To our right, J.I. Burton to our left. I know you like it when I sagoo like that. Yeah. Thornhill with it over the Malbec. Now to Demetrius Johnson, also called Segway by some. Thornhill throws it. Hubbard did not go the same way as the basketball.
Maybe that's what you TV types call it, make it easier. 24-11. Yeah, we'll talk about that first free throw opportunity here, Bob. Just about 30 seconds.
Really struggling from the floor.
Yeah, absolutely, and not getting a whole lot done from the field goal. They did make some free throws, which was good for their task, but Altavista's defense has been very stingy.
Beatty has it blocked by Darius. Demetrius leads. Demetrius no looks at the Thornhill. Juan sticks in two off the window.
Wow, good stuff there in transition. And again, a little roll reversal. Normally you think of Juan as throwing the no-look pass to a Johnson. That time other way around. Good finish by number 2.
Blair gives up to Van Ness. Van Ness is playing with 3. Now over to Beatty. Beatty's going to try to back down Michi. No good. Malbec taps it up. Darius picks it up. Now over to Demetrius on the right wing. Johnson drives in, gives it off to Thornhill. Juan passes it back to Malbec. Michi inside the arc, puts it up, no good. Darius will try to chase down the board, but Maggard got to it first. Now off to Beatty. Beatty in front of the timeline, guarded by Malbec. Beatty looking for somewhere to go. We got a lot to do in between games, Kyle. A lot to do here today in Richmond, where the Colonel's looking to make it 1 for 1 before you can get 2 for 2. Malbec watches that one sink down by Maggard as Maggard hit it from the left corner.
Yeah, it's a Colonel doubleheader. You'd love to win both of them. Love to take care of business here in the first. Altavista up 13. Tough shot there by J.I. Burton. Got it to rattle in. I don't think the defense was bad by Altavista. And you look at the stats for J.I. Burton. No points off a fast break. That's important for the Colonels. They're stopping J.I. Burton in transition.
4 out of 16 were the Raiders from the floor, where Colonels were 9 out of 20. And, really, Altavista's looks have been a much more high percentage, where J.I. Burton is struggling for every nickel and dime.
Definitely. Couldn't agree more. Altavista 45%, Burton 25%. Big difference there. It's a big difference in the lead as well. Altavista up 26-13. We got time to talk because Altavista is just passing the ball around the perimeter again. Burton's in that zone, and they're not coming past the three-point line.
And, I don't know that Altavista's looking to drive any dagger in with 5:35 to go in the third quarter, but it's like, those guys that sculpt that ice. I mean, you just chip away, three-pointers up, no good. It's going to be a foul against Demetrius Johnson away from the basketball. It'll be Demetrius' first, and it'll be the first one here in quarter 3.
Yeah, we know how Demetrius likes to battle down low, and some of them even go beyond battles. They go into war territory. That time, Demetrius a little too physical, and Altavista's going to throw some full-court pressure on Burton here as they try and break the timeline.
Van Ness will break it. Van Ness all the way, tries to get it off, knocked out of bounds by Darius. And, this is crew's been solid so far of 3. It is a mixed crew, which means you have different associations coming. Nobody that we're used to seeing in the COA doing it. Has Beatty gets to the hole, ball falls right off the rim into the hands of Malbec. Michi drives down, looking for somewhere to go. Hubbard will cross him. Michi gets it to Juan on the right, now over to Malbec, middle of the floor. And, win or lose for this one, you've got to like what you're seeing, too, when Altavista, when you look in the, year category in your program.
Absolutely. Future looks bright, really, for both teams, but we know we got more Colonel fans listening, and definitely the Altavista Colonels have a very, very bright future ahead of them. 3 seniors on this team. We've talked about them a bunch. McClure, Walker, and Poindexter. They will certainly be missed, but you got to feel like the next couple years are going to be very good for Altavista basketball.
Blair and Maggard are your 2 seniors from J.I. Burton. Demetrius feeling froggy. The 3 is up. Back iron, no good. Ball comes right back into the hands of Johnson, now off to Hubbard. 4.5 to go here in quarter 3. And they're going to give Demetrius that shot, but Demetrius will take it once and now back it out to Thornhill. Juan all the way to the rack, and Thornhill's going to be fouled by Mackenzie Blair. And Juan will look to satisfy his hunger with some points at the line.
Yeah, Thornhill is going to try and feed the hunger at the line. You can feed your hunger this Saturday on the KD Country Instant Auction. Bob, you mentioned the great food here. They had some Papa John's in the media room. You like
I haven't
Papa
gotten any of that yet.
John's? Well, you can get some here, and you can get some Saturday on the Instant Auction. Gift certificates to Papa John's, bunch of stuff from Miller's Jewelry, a couple of digital cameras from Cardinal Camera, certificates to the Portrait Place, bowling from Fort Hill Bowling Center.
Man.
Mentioned that subscription already to the Altavista Journal. Second free throw, no good, and the ball goes out of bounds, and it looks like it's going to go to J.I. Burton on the missed free throw. We'll mention some more stuff as we go on, and like you said, plenty of time in between games. We may even be able to get more of a full list.
Yeah, I was going to say you're on your own for a little bit because I'm going to go sample the pizza after this one, 27-13, and we'll probably have some more guests on. Beatty looks to become hospitable at the free throw line as I think Malbeck is going to be charged with the foul. If it is on Michi, it's his second.
I think you're exactly right. 5 team fouls on the Colonel. So, again, that's been a place where Burton maybe, I don't know if you can say they've done better, but they've fouled less anyway. I think, it's just a byproduct of Altavista's good, hard-nosed man-to-man defense. You're going to commit some fouls here and there. First free throw up from Irvin Beatty is good. 27-14, Colonel's lead, 4:14 to play in the third quarter.
Navy will take a seat next to Chad Ward, who I hope will take that seat at some point in between games to kind of give his spiel on this one. Mike Cardellaro probably will come down in between games or at the halftime of the girls' game. So 27-15 is our score. And hopefully we'll get a speaking rep from the Lady Colonels as well after their game before we call it a day. Thornhill's pass for Hubbard went to Walker Allen and Dylan Allen instead, and the problem is they're not suited up on the floor right now as an eligible 5.
Yeah, they're suited up, but they're on the bench. Altavista turns it over. Basketball going back to J.I. Burton. 3:54 to play, and now Burton's turned it over. Good steal by Navy Jones.
Smallest guy on the floor comes away with the basketball, gets it over to Thornhill. Thornhill cross court to Hubbard. Richard thought about it. Instead, backs it over to Navy. Navy facilitates from the middle of the floor. Stuck into Darius Johnson. Johnson off the window. Not going to fall down. Rebounded by Mackenzie Blair. Now off to Kelly Thompson, who's in the game. Now back over to Beatty. Beatty trying to get Darius. Got one off his feet, too, and Beatty had to pass it off to Van Ness. Now back to Beatty. Beatty drives in. The runner's no good. Rebounded by Darius Johnson. Johnson up ahead to Thornhill. Juan does not have numbers. He'll wait for traffic to clear. Now off to Navy Jones. Now left side to Hubbard. Delano Douglas in attendance. Former JV coach for the Colonels. And I'll tell you, Coach Douglas can't watch a game without having the coaching eyes on because he gets up right there acting like, didn't you see that guy right there? Johnson with the basketball. Demetrius drives in. Demetrius spins. Demetrius puts up a shot. It's going to go down. Count the bucket. And Demetrius will have a chance to up that total from the free throw line.
Boy, nice move right there. The spin move really just at about 12 feet away, and the shot goes in afterwards, hits the deck hard. And, we always say we don't have the benefit of instant replay. We can't tell. Well, up here in this game, Bob, we do have a little instant replay. Not on every play or anything, and I don't think there was any question mark that was a foul as Demetrius hit the ground hard after the shot. He'll try for the three-point play here. It would make it 30 points for Altavista if it goes in. It does.
15 for J.I. Burton. So now, Kyle, we're getting into that dangerous territory that you and I talked about is when you're getting doubled up.
Yep, and not only are you getting doubled up, you're down by more points than you've scored in the game, and Burton's not going to score in this possession. Another turnover, steal by Richard Hubbard.
Hubbard now off to Demetrius Johnson. Head fake, gets the guy up in the air. Demetrius goes to the rack, gets in 2 more. Kyle Haney almost choking on his drink as Demetrius will earn another trip to the line. And I'll tell you, Demetrius Johnson playing old-fashioned basketball with a three-point play.
Absolutely, and now you're going to get another timeout from J.I. Burton. We got to talk about that play when we come back, though, Bob.
We'll step aside, 32-15. Altavista, Demetrius at the line when we come back after this timeout on 105.5 KD Country.
Chris Anderson is the newest State Farm agent in Altavista, and he wants you to know that he's there for you. With the discount double check, Chris Anderson will help you find the best price for your car, home, or life insurance. Check out Chris Anderson today, Main Street in Altavista. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Your You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Bob Alvis, Kyle Haney, KH, you're my version of instant replay. Take us through that move by Demetrius.
Man, I got the chills just watching it. He caught it around the three-point line in the corner there. The big head fake got his defender up in the air. Then he went to the basket, laid it in from about 6 feet out with a little finger roll, and got fouled. Pretty special play. We've seen Juan make a few plays like that. But Demetrius saying, hey, anything you can do, I can do a little better. And he converts the free throw as well, Mr. Alvis. 33-15. Good stuff from Demetrius.
I'll tell you, Demetrius really has been, like I mentioned, Haney, a steady hand here lately for the Colonels.
Very underrated, too. We probably don't talk about Demetrius enough.
Stolen by Demetrius. Demetrius leaves it up for Thornhill. Juan will go up with the jam.
The crowd got on its feet, and the whole bench got on its feet when they saw Juan had the clear run out to the basket, because they knew what Juan had on his mind. Deuce is loose again here in Richmond.
I'll tell you, Altavista wants to make a return trip on Friday, and they can, I think, start to sniff. Foul's going to go against Altavista that time. I think it's on Thornhill. Might be against Demetrius, actually.
Yeah, Juan tried to step in and take the charge. I think
Demetrius.
You're right. They did call on Demetrius, however. And Demetrius was around, and I think, let's get back to the refs for a second, Bob. I think it's a pretty good crew, because how often have we had to say, oh, well, it could have gone this way, or you could have called that. We've only said that like one time, and that was the one where we were questioning whether Juan was in the act of shooting or not. So if that's the only thing you got to gripe about, pretty doggone solid crew here. First free throw goes in for Irvin Beatty.
Yeah, and I mean, normally Mike Carlero, and we saw Aaron Williams before when they came down to the Altavista Christmas tournament before. I mean, his blood can boil a little bit too. But I mean, when both of them are, not really red in the face.
Yeah, and it hadn't been any of those situations where, hey, they've called the ref over and said, now explain what happened here. None of that. Great officiating crew here tonight. And a great crowd as well. I think the Colonels are really living up to the occasion so far.
I was going to say Altavista taking care of their end, too. 35-17. Thornhill drives in. Now pulls it back. Now drives. A little floater's not going to fall down. Rebounded by Juan. And Juan's going to be fouled on the way up. And this will send Thornhill to the stripe for a pair.
35-17 our score here. Altavista leads. Juan going to try and stretch that lead out as much as he can. He gives a glance at the scoreboard. Jacob McClure at the scorer's table. He'll check in for somebody after the first free throw. 1:37 to play here in the third period.
And don't go anywhere, because after this one, the ladies take the floor. And, Kyle, it's been a few times that we get that doubleheader. Normally it's the girls always lead with the guys, but tonight we have the guys leading with the girls, and the girls taking on Clintwood.
Yep, another Region D team. And the guys did play the first game last week at Spotswood, 2 weeks ago at Spotswood, Both free throws go in for Juan Thornhill. Back to a 20-point lead. Colonels lead 37-17.
Van Ness bounces it down to Keys, now over to Beatty. Beatty looking for somewhere to go. Goes back to Maggard. Maggard, free throw line jumper. Maggard gets it to go in. I'll tell you, you get that shot to go in, you just got to kind of shake your head and turn it around. Maggard using the window entirely. 37-19.
It was a tough contested shot to begin with. Then he banked it in after that. Don't see that very often, but I'm not going to say he wasn't trying to do it. Better to miss long than short. Foul here right at half court. Juan Thornhill hits the deck, trying to beat the half court trap here from J.I. Burton.
Foul is against the Raiders. Their fifth. Third one on Beatty.
Yep. So that's another star for J.I. Burton, who I don't know if we could call it foul troubled now. 3 fouls. We're almost done with the third quarter. So he's got 2 quarters to work, or got another quarter to work with there with 2 fouls to give. 37-19, Colonels lead, under a minute to go in the third.
Thornhill drives in, looking for somewhere to go. Darius will pop back. I wouldn't be shocked here to see the Colonels milk for one.
Yeah, it looks like J.I. Burton's gone back into the man-to-man, Bob, so Altavista can spread the court out like they tend to do with the 4 corners there. Fill the holes, maybe put a guy in the middle. Juan checking the official, see if he's calling the 5-second call or not.
Juan's pretty heady that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Thornhill looking for somewhere to go. Beatty got it away. Thornhill lost it, and they're going to call it travel, but that guy, the official on the far side, called the foul.
Yep.
My thing is, if you call it travel, who's it on? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, Juan fell over, and they're going to say he did travel. And if he traveled before the foul, then the turnover would wipe out the subsequent foul, as long as it's not flagrant or anything. It wasn't.
And Mike Carlero, a little unhappy about that, but not to the point of
I think
what I would say boisterous.
Right, I think he just wants to figure out what happened and what they saw. Down to 25 seconds here in the third. 37-19, Altavista leading.
I tell you, if Burton could get a bucket here heading to the fourth, though, Uncle Mo would be on their side. In terms of momentum, Beatty goes back door, but I think Beatty was fouled by McClure.
He was. Good call by Mr. Alvis. McClure going to pick up his third.
I think it looks like Aaron Williams got upset about something. I don't know if it was the foul or what, but Coach Williams on the other end did not like something, and it appeared like he didn't like the foul, or either the pass got there a little late or something like that. But he got a little unhappy. Maggard gives it off to Beatty, down to 10. Beatty dribbles around. Beatty, left hand. Beatty gives off to Van Ness. Got to go if you're Burton.
Got to do
Blair
something, yeah.
with 3, with 2, the extra pass, and it's going to go out of bounds and over to Altavista with .8. All right, time for the quarterback.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see that. We've seen it a few times this year. Here comes a pass from Thornhill.
Thornhill caught by Darius, and even gets froggy when the action comes to the table just a few feet away from us. Darius couldn't catch it and keep it with the shot. We have played 3 frames from Altavista, or from VCU, where Altavista leads J.I. Burton 37-19. Back with the fourth and final quarter after this on KD Country.
A short drive will save you money.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. The absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Feller Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Feller Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Bob and Kyle back here from Virginia Commonwealth University. Rams got a big win last night over their Richmond Spiders, their city rival. Altavista looking to knock off a team from the Lonesome Pine District and head one step closer to their second state title in this millennium.
Yeah, Colonels just got to hold on for another 8 minutes. I'm sure they'd love to do more than just hold on, Bob. They want to actually stretch the lead out if possible. But they got a comfortable cushion right now, 37-19. They lead, and it's been 3 really good quarters of basketball for Altavista. You and I talked about it during the break, one break. I don't know that it's Altavista's A game being played right now, but they're doing enough, and they're defensing. Their defensive effort. Yeah, they are defensing. They got another steal here.
Richard Hubbard gets rid of it to Malbeck before he travels. Malbeck the extra pass. Save to Malbeck. Malbeck sticks in 2.
Yeah, Burton almost came away with a steal, but Mackenzie Blair, when he saved it right back to Michi Malbeck. Michi Malbeck deposits it in for 2.
Well, my good friend Jacob Grush used to call controlled chaos what Dan River would do. I don't know if that was controlled chaos by design, but chaos led to points for Altavista.
Well, and they just had more guys. I mean, it was a 3-on-1 fast break, so you figure even if you don't play it perfectly, you're going to come away with some points. Stifling man-to-man defense for the Colonels.
Blair, very, very close to going backcourt. Maggard makes the ball fake, no good. Thornhill with the rebound, and I think, we talk about adjusting to the floor here. Bunnies that normally go down for a team not going down for J.I. Burton. Darius is going to be fouled by Blair.
Yeah, a bunny is a short one. You like to call it a bunny. Some guys call it a chip shot. Anything within 2 or 3 feet, you figure you're going to make 95% of them, and you're right. J.I. Burton has missed quite a few of those tonight. And again, I think it's a byproduct of Altavista's stifling man-to-man defense. They get on you. They don't let you breathe. And even when you do get room down low, you think somebody's coming from behind or somewhere to block it. So you end up missing the short one.
40-19, Altavista. 41-19. Darius Johnson extends that lead to 22.
Yeah, Colonels are great from the free throw stripe, Bob, with those 2 there. That makes them 12 of 15. Very, very good in high school.
Heck, the NBA guys sometimes drool over that,
point.
too.
I thought about that as I said it. It's probably good in any league.
Hubbard's third, 6th one on Altavista. On the floor right now for Altavista, you've got Malbeck, Navy Jones, Juan Thornhill, and the Johnson brothers.
12 of 15 is 80%. Very, very good as a team.
Malbeck was coming from behind. Beatty has the basketball. Beatty sticks it down low. Keys comes through. Reverse layup. Goes down for Keys. Burton trails 41-21. Altavista ever so close to punching a ticket. 7:08 to go in quarter four.
Yeah, Burton going to throw a little half-court trap. We've seen that a lot. Looks like the Colonels have broken it with ease.
Demetrius at the free throw line. Passes to brother Darius. Now back out to Thornhill. And Altavista might want to look for some openings and look for some clock to run around as well. It's 6:48 right now.
Yeah, Michi not being guarded very tightly. Not a 5-second count issued, so he can take a little extra time. He pans off to Canavis Jones, who does the same thing.
Malbeck drives in, gives it off to Thornhill. Now Navy comes up top. Now Malbeck the other side, and Malbeck lays it in, left side.
What a play. Big fist pump from Coach Cardellaro on the bench. Great backdoor cut by Michi Malbeck. Even better pass by Canavis Jones to get it to him on the bounce, and then the finish in traffic by number 1, Mr. Malbeck.
43-21. And Irvin Beatty's going to go to the line as the foul is going to go against Demetrius Johnson. It's his third.
We could probably send shout-outs to a lot more people that we don't even know of, Bob. But if you like us on Facebook, tell us who you are. And if you want a shout-out, maybe we'll get you one in between games. We'll get Eleanor Haney to pass the info on to us. 43-22, Altavista leads. That's the important info. 21-point cushion right now for the Colonels.
6:19 remains in this fourth quarter. Beatty looks to cut it to 20. Cannot. Rebound comes down to Juan Thornhill. Now over to Malbeck. Michi drives in. Michi not going to get it to go. Michi looked like he might have been hacked a little bit by Burton. Beatty will come away with it. We got a lot to do in between games as well, as we're going to have some post-game talk. We're going to have some girls basketball preview as they will be taking on Clintwood, and we'll have a lot to do before we're through the day. Everybody making a full effort. Michi Malbeck comes away with a steal at home base on their Fraser Road in Altavista.
Yeah, they're having a good time down there. We're having a good time as well. Colonel's guys team.
They're having a great time.
They're having a great time. They're up 21. And like I said, I think they want to stretch the lead out some here, Bob, not just hang on.
Demetrius Johnson with the basketball, 5.5 to go. And when I talked to Mike Cardellaro yesterday, Juan Thornhill to the stripe. Can't get it to fall all the way to the racket. Ball just falls off the front iron. Navy Jones will get it and back it out. You know, Mike Cardellaro, the phone was blowing up because you got to make reservations and, you know, take care of this and that, try to get some film, find a gym. But that's a good problem to have.
Absolutely. You get a bunch of old fans and old players. Not old, but people from years gone by. They might be young still, calling you and wishing you well, wishing you good luck, saying, hey, bring home the title for us, too.
The Cardellaro family is up about 10 rows. Checking this one out. Demetrius bounce pass to Darius. Darius tug of war with Beatty. And a good old-fashioned jump ball. Possession arrow stays with Altavista. 4:53 to go.
Yeah, second or third time we've seen one of those jump balls, Bob. I'm sorry, cut you off there. 43-22. And we already talked about we don't want to get in on one of those tug of wars with Darius. Basketball stays to the Altavista Colonels because of the possession arrow.
Over to Darius Johnson. Now hands it to Juan Thornhill. Tell you talk about the instant auction on Saturday. I'm just wondering if, you know, the sophomores or the seniors would get together and, you know, chip in to buy some of those Papa John gift certificates. Pizza party.
Good idea.
Over to Navy. And, I mean, you don't have to, you know, when you buy stuff on Saturday, you don't just have to be a hoarder. Hoard it for yourself. I mean, you know, sharing is fun, too.
Absolutely. Sharing is caring. A lot of great gift opportunities. And look out here.
Demetrius drives in, finger rolls it down. And Demetrius Johnson giving the gift of 2 to Altavista, 45-22.
I said look out because I saw Demetrius had a head of steam, and he was not going to be denied.
Beatty underneath again in reverse, 45-24. You got to, Keys. You got to tip your hat to Keys.
Yeah, playing hard throughout the day, throughout the night, day. What are we?
That's all right.
What time is it?
Light outside.
Too much basketball.
Dark when we head back. Malbeck drives in and gets in too. 47-24.
Nice spinning touch on the layup there from Michi Malbeck. Up and under move. We see that move from him a lot. 47-24. Colonels stretching the lead out. It looks like Demetrius is going to get whistled for a foul. He can't believe it.
That'll be number 4.
Well, again, it's a nice cushion that Altavista has. And that's good news for them. 47-24 they lead over J.I. Burton. and 3:46 to play in the fourth quarter, Bob.
47-25. 3:46 to go.
We're having fun here, aren't we?
I'm having a blast.
We're having a good time when you come to the Siegel Center.
The thing I was thinking about, too, is Sunday is spring forward. And I'll tell you, the Colonels have had a lot of spring in their step today.
Great point. They've had a lot of bounce to it. And, I think they've worn out J.I. Burton. I'm not saying Altavista's in much better shape than J.I. Burton, but, Altavista looks fresh right now. Burton looks like they're dragging a little bit, and maybe it gets back to the conditioning of the Colonels, Bob.
Well, and, what I'm about to say could be taken as controversial, because when you get to, Region B and Region D, sometimes it's just two different styles of play. Region D will like to milk it and, really, like I said, that lunch pail, pound it out, I don't want to say football comes to the basketball court, but really grind it. Region B, you can go up and down and, have the aircraft carriers with the airplanes launching from the court.
Very good point. Different styles of basketball, different styles of play sometimes. And maybe that has benefited the Colonels here in this one. They lead 46-26.
And don't get me wrong, Region B is it's not that they've never lost a game to Region D or anything like that. Gate City knocked off Altavista when Mike Poindexter was a freshman. So, Region D, they've got some good athletes across the board as well.
Yeah, good athletes, good teams. Michi Malbeck trying to break his defender down. He'll settle for the jump shot.
No good. Thornhill taps it up. Darius keeps it alive. And I'll tell you, DeMichael Lee and Chandler Pribble, and I think that's Chase Short down there, they have got to be happy that Darius did not try to save that basketball, because that would have been a train wreck.
Yeah, basketball went over top of Altavista's bench there, and it looks like Altavista's going to check in some substitutes. Juan Thornhill and Demetrius Johnson getting a nice applause as they come out. Chandler Pribble at the scorer's table, ready to check in at the next dead ball. 2:40 to play. Colonels up 21.
Right now on the floor, you've got Josh Walker, Eric Poindexter, Jacob McClure, Darius Johnson, Amici Malbeck, and Walker gets the block. It's going to stay to Altavista. Chandler Pribble is going to spell Darius. Number 10, not his best output in the scoring column, but I'll tell you, Darius Johnson's presence equals points right there.
Yeah, solid game. Alters the shots, blocked a few shots, great on the glass. Josh Walker with a big block while we were talking. Josh Walker's father is actually going to be playing in that Harlem Ambassadors game, playing for the Rotary All-Stars, Bob, so we get to check the bloodlines, too.
Shot up, no good. Rebounded by Jacob McClure. And, a happy birthday shout-out goes to a Walker today, because the social media world has told me it's Flip Walker's.
It is a small world. And he's been to a lot of these games. We saw him up there in Salem. He made the trip to watch the Colonels.
McClure over to Walker. And you got to have a scorecard to keep your Walkers straight.
Yeah.
Poindexter now off to Pribble. Walker for three. A triple for Flip. Not going to happen this time. Rebounded by J.I. Burton. Now over to Beatty.
Under 2 minutes to play here. Colonel's still up 21. Nobody's scored in a while.
Beatty drives. Left-hand layup won't fall down. Rebounded by Josh Walker. And I'll tell you, class right here by Aaron Williams is he's going to check in some guys that don't see as much PT either on the next whistle.
Yeah, he's going to empty the bench, let some of these guys get some time here at the Siegel Center. State semifinal matchup. Always a big deal.
Poindexter with the basketball. Gives it off to Chase Short. Now to Josh Walker. Walker cut off, looking for somewhere to go. Walker had it knocked away. Ball still loose, picked up by Chandler Pribble. Pribble gets off to Poindexter. Altavista might call a timeout just to get some subs in. Dylan Allen at the bench. Official will help him out and call a foul on Beatty. That'll be Beatty's fourth.
Yeah, Allen's at the table waiting, and it should be 17 fouls on J.I. Burton. So that sends Eric Poindexter to the free throw stripe. There is that aforementioned whistle. Subs checking in. Dylan Allen, number 15 in the game now. He joins Chase Short, Eric Poindexter, Josh Walker, and Chandler Pribble, and then Nico Tucker. He's coming in now.
On the floor for J.I. Burton, you've got Antonio Kyle, Trey Adams, Tyler Ward, then the lovely, I don't have a name because I'm 42, but 44, if it's him, it would be Nelson Tate. And there's one other guy, and that's number 1, who also, name not in, Nico Tucker playing tug of war. Maybe that's where Darius gets his sparring action in with the tug-of-war thing. Tucker just didn't want to give it up either.
No, Nico didn't
Going back to J.I. Burton.
Nico Tucker didn't want to give that one up. And, of course, Nico's always the guy in the spotlight during the light show for the Colonels at home. I'll tell you, Nico can put on a little dunking exhibition of his own during those warm-ups. I'm not saying it's like the LeBron James dunk show in the warm-ups, but Nico's got some hops. Yeah.
Basketball in the hands of J.I. Burton. Burton on our left here. Kyle will fire a three, no good. Rebounded by Dylan Allen. Actually, I'm sorry, that was Ward. I'm sure anybody with Kyle in their name, it would have gone down. Tucker can't get it to go. And they're going to call a carry on John I. Burton. 36.9, J.I. Burton. You talk about it, they came in with a record in the regular season under 500. You can argue that they shouldn't have been here. They were here. And I'll tell you, Altavista, it was not a roll-out-the-ball type game. Altavista got on them early. Walker and Dylan Allen both in. Chase Short has that block. Tucker and Fribble, the other two Colonels, as that ball goes into the Altavista cheerleading section. But I'll tell you what, the guys from the Lonesome Pine didn't come here to just to enjoy the experience and then go home.
Yeah. J.I. Burton's played very hard, and I think, they just tough matchup here against the Colonels, and the Colonels played well. They had a lot of different guys get after it on the glass. They made their free throws. That was a big deal for Altavista, and, that was really a bright spot here as we get under 20 seconds, Bob. Remember, there was a time when we were questioning the Colonel's free throw shooting. That's really gotten better here in the past 3 or 4 weeks, hasn't it?
Well, one thing not to question is, will Altavista be playing tomorrow? The answer is yes. 8.5 seconds to go.
I think it's not just a yes. I think it's an emphatic yes, Bob. 47-26. Colonel's lead, 8.5 left. Burton can cut the deficit a little bit here from the free throw line, but not nearly going to be enough. Colonels are going to be in the state championship game tomorrow, 2 o'clock. From the Siegel Center.
I'll tell you what, I believe it was, and you should know this, being the football guy, knows good on the shot. Altavista and West Point played a couple years ago, I want to say, at some point on the gridiron. However, if it was Altavista and Perry McClure, wouldn't that be something? But the main part is Altavista's taking care of their business. They will advance, and they will move on to the state final tomorrow at 3:45 here at the Siegel Center with a 47-26 win over J.I. Burton. We've got a lot to do when we come back. It's the post-game, pre-game show right here on 105.5 KD Country.
For more than 103 years, we've offered special banking assistance to many nonprofit organizations. I'm Kathy Morgan with First National Bank, and we have a checking account just for nonprofits and faith-based organizations that has no minimum balance requirement and no monthly maintenance fee. We also specialize in offering financing when your group needs a loan. So come see us at First National Bank, and we'll provide your organization with an extraordinary customer experience. First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Heard of Moose? The Altavista Moose Family Center proudly supports Altavista High School athletics. Moose International is a family-centered, community-based organization that has been serving the Altavista area since 1952. The Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road in Altavista wants to wish the Colonel basketball teams good luck in the playoffs. Give the Moose Family Center a call at 369-6945 today to see how they're bringing together the Altavista community. Moose, a family fraternity.
The following is brought to you by English Construction Company.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Virginia are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Virginia High School League and the Virginia Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Back here from the Siegel Center in Richmond, 47-26. Colonels get a win. They led after the first quarter. They led after every quarter after that as well. Big victory, 21-point victory over J.I. Burton from Region D, and Altavista advances on to the state championship game tomorrow on this floor, 2 o'clock. We'll be here. Subway pregame show for that. We'll start around 1:30 or so. Special state tournament, state championship edition, if you will. And this is the Subway postgame or pregame show, whatever you want to call it here, as we're wrapping up the guys' affair, getting ready for the ladies' affair. Lady Colonels We'll get started here in about 40 minutes or so they have on the clock, and it's always Subway, no matter if it's the pregame or the postgame, and you can always eat fresh at Subway. $3 6-inch oven-roasted chicken is the 6-inch select of the month, and the $6 foot-long is the buffalo chicken. All March long you can get those. Don't forget about the Italian collection as well. Italian BMT, meatball pepperoni melt, chicken pizzioli melt, all kinds of good stuff at Subway. $3 breakfast combos, so it doesn't matter if it's before a game, after a game, or both like we are now. You can always eat fresh at Subway. Two great locations in Altavista, Main Street, and also in the Walmart on the Clarion Road. And since our sponsors switch up a little bit for the girls and the guys, let's tell you about the people that made that boys game possible right now while we have a chance. Select Air, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Never an overtime charge with Select Air. El Cazador, voted best Mexican restaurant in town by their customers. $4 daily lunch specials. First National Bank, focus on providing an extraordinary customer experience. Your State Farm agents, Eric Fletcher and Chris Anderson. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Services, a family serving family since 1905. English's, your complete home center, authorized Davis paint dealer. McDonald's in Altavista is a proud supporter of the Colonels. Try the new Fish McBites. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, keeping you warm in the winter, cool in the summer. The Moose Family Center, Lynch Mill Road in Altavista. Herd of Moose. Perkins Twin Tire, your home for Michelin Defender tires. The Rotary Club of Altavista presenting the Harlem Ambassadors versus the Rotary Club All-Stars Thursday, March 21st at Altavista High School. Fellers Chevrolet, where a short drive will save you money. Don't forget the YouTube rebroadcast from them that you can check out any old time you please. And English Construction, wishing our high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game. Of course, streaming audio online if you listen at kdcountry.com, brought to you by Walmart on the Clarion Road in Altavista. Save money, live better, Walmart. 47-26. Guys' team is a winner here over J.I. Burton. Big win for the Colonels, and they move on to state championship play. Second half of our doubleheader on the way. We'll take another timeout here on the Subway pregame show. Altavista doubleheader on 105.5 KD Country.
You can buy paint from any old yahoo who knows nothing about paint in one of those big box stores. For quality paint from people who really know paint, it's Davis Paints from your complete home center, English's. Davis Paints, which has been known for quality since 1921, is not just sold anywhere. Visit the new paint room at English's, your authorized Davis Paint dealer.
English's is your complete home center.
On North Main Street, Altavista.
Get ready for dazzling ball handling tricks, high-flying slam dunks, and hilarious family comedy. Join the Harlem Ambassadors basketball show on Thursday, March 21st at Altavista High School as they take on the Rotary All-Stars. Get tickets for $5 at Subway and Steve Farmer's Auto Sales or at the door for $7. All proceeds benefit the Altavista Rotary Club Scholarship Fund. For more info, call 841-0063. The Harlem Ambassadors. It's not your grandfather's basketball show.
Try a variety of daily lunch specials priced under $4 at El Cazador Restaurant. The people that brought the first Mexican food to the area 13 years ago and still going strong 7 days a week. Come by for Mexican or American food, all reasonably priced with drink specials and great service too. Voted best Mexican restaurant by you, their customers, El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, Main Street in Altavista. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant thanks you for your loyalty and your business. Chris Anderson is the newest State Farm agent in Altavista, and he wants you to know that he's there for you. With the discount double check, Chris Anderson will help you find the best price for your car, home, or life insurance. Check out Chris Anderson today, Main Street in Altavista. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Bob Alvis, my sidekick, Kyle Haney, Chad Ward, receiving well wishes from Ty Gafford and the former principal of Altavista, Mr. Clay Stanley. He'll be joining us momentarily. We got some time, too. I'm going to round up some more guests, too. You think this is it?
You love the guests. Bob Alvis has got it covered.
When we come to these meccas, why not
You've got it covered. Colonel's guys team had it covered with a 21-point victory, Bob. Good stuff there in the first game, and you're right, Mr. Chad Ward is going to make his way over here eventually. But, hey, you got a little time to fill. Why not get a special guest on? Yeah, I don't know if you got time to fill Saturday, Bob, or not, but you better find a way to listen to that Katy Country Instant Auction. Here's a few more things for you.
Preach on.
Good stuff from Schul Furniture in Altavista, O'Reilly Auto Parts, McBride Blackburn Optical in Lynchburg. We talked about Papa John's Pizza, a lot of Papa John's Pizza. How about some CC's Pizza as well? They're on Applebee's, Moe's Southwest Grill. I'm sure your stomach is growling at this point. Hamilton Jewelers, nice car stereo from Omni Radioactive, always stuff from the wooden chair on. You never know what's going to be on. We hope a lot of our basketball fans that might not have tuned in before do tune in, because you can get all kinds of great stuff. Basically, we get the merchandise or the gift certificates, and then you bid and buy on the phone. You're going to pay far less than full price. If Coach Ward wants to bid $5 on the Papa John's and you want to bid $6, well, you're the high bidder. Somebody's got to top you. It's just that easy, 9 o'clock Saturday.
But right now, he's the big dog, and we're going to get him on here to chat momentarily about what he saw, what I saw, what the whole world here in Richmond saw, which was a resounding victory for the Colonels. Coach, you got to be glad that your Friday is now booked with a 3:45 tip. Let's talk about what went right for you guys. What went right?
Things that went right. We were patient on offense some of the time. We got a couple things we need to talk about in order to prepare for tomorrow, but right now we're just happy to be playing in the Friday game.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously taking care of business. You got to worry about Thursday before you can get to Friday. Let's kind of point out some things. I don't think anybody necessarily, in my opinion, had a great superstar game. I thought this was a true team effort.
That's right. At times we looked a little bit sloppy out there, but it really was an overall team effort. No one really stood out. But we did play decent team defense. We need to do a better job of cutting off the lane and keeping people out of the paint on us, and that'll help us a lot out for tomorrow.
All right, now, itinerary for tomorrow is it's going to be a watch West Point, Perry McClure, then back to A-Town.
Yes, we're going to stay here and support our girls in their game, and then we're going to check out the West Point, Perry McClure game, and then heading back home, we're going to sleep in our beds, get up, come back down here tomorrow, see if we can't get a shoot around at a local high school, and go from there for the state championship.
Your bed always is better than the hotel bed.
My bed's actually a Hot Wheels race car that I have to steal from my son when he takes my spot.
Yeah, you can't get that at the hotel. I've never heard of a Richmond hotel offering the Hot Wheels bed.
They might be able to roll one in.
That's one thing. All right, let's kind of break it down a little bit, even though we don't know who you guys have tomorrow. Size up West Point and Perry McClure for me a little bit of what you know.
All right. West Point is very quick, lightning quick. They like to get up. They like to press. Seems like they don't like to hold the ball very long on offense, kind of like a New York Knicks thing where if they're the shot clock, they probably be getting one up every 7 seconds. But I think West Point really likes to live in transition. They really going to get up and press us, pressure the ball, and zone us a lot, I think. They do like to run a full court man where they run somebody in from the backside and try to whiff a ball a lot. If we're on our toes and Juan keeps his head on a swivel, I think we'll be all right there. Size-wise, I'd imagine the Twins will be the two biggest ones on the floor. But West Point goes 10 deep, and, they can mix and match, and they look just as good with any of those 10 out there. Perry McClure, on the other hand, haven't really seen them.
Hang on one quick second before we talk about Perry McClure. You talk about the Twins, and that popped something in my head real quick. When Demetrius is out guarding the gentleman from J.I. Burton tonight on the wing, you might say advantage J.I. Burton, but I look at it as you got Demetrius' wingspan, which is making it hard to see.
Right.
Talk about the Twins if they have to pop out defensively.
Well, tonight with the matchup you're talking about, we started Michi on number 3.
Right.
Because of the pressure, and number 3 is their point guard. But they let number 4 bring the ball up the floor for him to take a little bit of heat off of him. And Michi did a good job with him, and then he started going to the post, and that's a big kid to be running the point. Yeah. I mean, I'd say number 3 is every bit of 6'1". He got Michi in the post a couple times in the first half, and we felt like we needed to make a switch, which we had already talked about before the game started. that if they did try to start sticking him in the post, that we let Demetrius guard him. Demetrius did an excellent job in the regional championship against Doppelmayr from Page County, who was Player of the Year in their district. And, like you said, Demetrius's wingspan and length really get to someone. And we were more or less worried about 3 off the drive instead of pulling up.
Now talk about Perry McClure. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Perry McClure, obviously, Coach Cardellaro has a long history with Perry McClure. We haven't really seen a whole lot of them this year, but we definitely know Coach Fox's repertoire for coaching. We usually face off against them every summer at camp at either Virginia Tech or Eastern Mennonite. I'm sure they're going to come out and do an excellent job with Coach Fox's matchup zone tonight. I'm interested to see how West Point's going to handle that. But, Perry McClure kids, hard-working kids, do things the right way, very fundamental and very well coached.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. And in case you didn't know, there is a little bit of a light show that I'm familiar with on Friday.
I don't know anything about any light shows, Bob.
There is a little, and you don't have to turn off the lights. That's the beautiful part. You don't have to have a hand in it.
Well, I would like to have my hand on the lights because we haven't lost a game at home since we've been turning them lights on with my keys. So
your key, you bring them just in case.
Yeah.
And see how it works out. Coach, enjoy the watching the girls. Hopefully, bring another win back and really make it an Altavista day tomorrow. And enjoy the ride back. Enjoy everything about Richmond and the surrounding area.
Thanks, Bob.
Chad Ward on the Subway post-game/pre-game show. We'll be back with more right after this on 105.5 KD Country.
It's cold in here. Will your heating system keep you warm this winter, or will you spend a cold evening shivering under the covers? Have your heating system inspected today by Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling. Kent Tyree has over 20 years experience and specializes in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical. Licensed and bonded. Call for an appointment today. 309-2266. 309-2266. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling.
McDonald's is a proud supporter of the community it serves daily with mouth-watering Big Macs and golden fries. In the spirit of community, McDonald's is pleased to sponsor the Altavista basketball teams as they battle through the tournaments. Good luck. McDonald's is the best place to celebrate a Colonel win, and they always invite you in for a tasty meal. Don't forget to try the new Fish McBites. McDonald's, Main Street in Altavista, cheering the Colonels on to victory.
Want a tire that offers enhanced safety for you and your family? See me, your Michelin dealer. Whatever you drive, chances are I have a set of Michelin tires that delivers the safe ride you want for you and your passengers. Michelin's advanced tread designs and special rubber compounds can provide exceptional grip, even on the wettest roads. So drop in today, and I'll help you get the drop on rain this season.
Find the right Michelin tire and get expert service at Perkins Twin Tire Altavista and online at PerkinsTwinTire.com.
It's tough out there trying to stretch each paycheck a little farther than the last one. It means cutting costs. And one of the best places to start is at Eric Fletcher State Farm Insurance. Because I'll do a discount double check to make sure you're getting the car insurance discounts you deserve, up to 40%. So give Eric Fletcher State Farm Insurance a call today. Because being there to help keep more of your money in your pocket is why I'm here. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Back here on the pregame show, Sarah Maddox, the ladies, one of the assistant coaches for Deborah Spencer's basketball team, taking the headset, and we talked all boys. It's now time to transition into the girls. Tell me first of the team's mindset right now as we head into a state semifinal against Clintwood.
Well, exciting part, we just got locked in the locker room. They had to use a crowbar to get us out, so the girls are excited to be out of there. Now I think they're going to transfer that excitement onto the basketball court.
It goes from a bus to a locker room. Lord knows what's next.
Adversity at its finest.
But not a lot of adversity. Last time you girls were on this floor last week against Colonial Beach. Talk about just getting on the floor one time already, how maybe that can calm some nerves.
It definitely does. The girls have an advantage right now. They played on the court last week. This is a much bigger facility than most high school teams have ever played in. There's a lot of space behind the baskets, and it's nice that our girls have had the opportunity to take some shots here before.
And especially some teams from, our neck of the woods. And even more so Southwest Virginia. I think Clintwood played at either Wise or at Salem last week.
They were at Wise, yeah.
You know, getting used to a bigger floor. But, I mean, even the floors at Wise and at Salem don't match, you know, just the experience of getting on this floor. Last game, I thought Sydney Morris was an absolute beast. 27 for the game, I think 13 or 14 in the fourth quarter alone. Talk about the catalyst of maybe not only Sydney, but TT and one of my personal favorites, Ryan Hedgepath, who reminds me a lot of you. Didn't do a lot in terms of points, but did a lot that shows up to the coaches.
Absolutely. Definitely big goal here. This team's fast, and we've got to limit fouls. Tough part in the regional final game was picking up a lot of petty fouls, and we got to watch our reaches. So that's one of our team goals tonight. But definitely getting some shots from everybody, equal scoring around the court, and, you know, distributing the ball nicely. So Ryan does a good job with that. Erica does a nice job with that. So taking care of the ball.
How much of it is, at this point, worry about yourself, don't worry about them, in terms of Clintwood?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's at this point you really have no idea the girls that you're playing against. The other 5 girls on the team, or court. It's not like you're matched up with someone you play against twice a year. We've never seen these girls, so at this point it's we came to win. We don't know them, and let's just take care of business.
Well, please give Coach Spencer, Coach Frazier, and Coach Short my best, and best of luck. And hopefully we'll be talking to you after this one, after a victory.
Hope so too. Thank you.
Sarah Maddox on the Subway pregame show. 2 locations in Altavista. Eat healthy, eat fresh at Subway. Kyle Haney set to rejoin me here in just a few moments, as it'll be Altavista and Clintwood on 105.5 KD Country. Back after this.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch & Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
It's cold out there. Who are you going to call when that old heater finally breaks down? Select Air, 841-1580. Another question. Who are you going to call this summer when that air conditioner finally kicks the bucket? Select Air, 841-1580. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Never an overtime charge with Select Air. Call Donnie at 841-1580 for a free estimate or online at selectair.webs.com.
A short drive will save you money.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. The absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Feller Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Feller Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
English Construction Company has been in the building business since 1932, so it's only natural that they appreciate the building process. They recognize the fact that organized sports programs build character as well as bodies and minds. They know that high school sports build our youth into more well-rounded and more productive adults. English Construction Company is proud to be a sponsor of high school sports and salute all athletes, coaches, and teachers. A word of praise and encouragement from English Construction Company with offices in Lynchburg, Virginia.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Bob Elvis, Kyle Haney, settle in, partner for game number 2. But before we get to game number 2, let's get to that point of the game where we wrap up the guys with players of the game. Actually, let's hold on that.
Let's hold on the player of the game. That's fine with me.
And I'll tell you why. Because I don't have any statistical analysis right now. Wow, you can hear me a lot better now, right?
What's that?
Altavista and Clintwood. Ladies basketball getting ready to start here in just a matter of moments, 20 of them to be exact in terms of minutes. Let's talk about the Lady Colonels, Kyle. We saw them last week. I thought they looked very good against Colonial Beach, and I thought Sydney Morris looked sensational.
Yeah, the sensation, Sid the Kid, the Squid, whatever you want to call her, a woman of many nicknames, and maybe when you're that good, you need more than one nickname. Who knows? But good stuff last week, and yes, Sydney really poured in the points there in the second half, if you recall, in that game. 27 of them total, but I think she only had like 13 coming into that fourth quarter. So she really went off in the fourth quarter. The team, it was a close game. And you heard Coach Spencer talk a little bit after that game about how, they had to make some adjustments at halftime and pull away. You and I were sort of in the category of people who never really thought the win was in doubt, but it was a close game in that third quarter, and the Lady Colonels pulled away in the fourth quarter. Very decisive victory. And to go on the road and do it was big. They'll have to go on the road and do it again in this one and from here on out. Of course, they would play tomorrow with the guys if they can win here today. Winner of this one takes on East Rockingham. We know how good they are, defending state champions. Altavista's going to have to get through Clintwood first if they want to do it, though.
Yeah, and I mean, you look over at Deborah Spencer. She's a veteran of this. Ed Frazier is a veteran of this. Susan Short's been around Coach Spencer quite a few years now as well. Sarah Maddox played on some talented teams, and Angela Emerson has wrapped some ankles that have needed to be strong. So, I mean, a lot of experience in my point in terms of the whole Altavista community. I mean, at this point in the year, Dean Hubbard knows what to do in booking the reservations and everything. It's nothing new. It doesn't faze him in my mind.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, and it's a situation where all these coaches have been around and been in some tight spots, had their back to the wall before in big games, too. So nobody on that bench is going to freak out if the Lady Colonels go down 10 or 15 or anything like that. They'll just worry about, hey, how are we going to come back? And that's what you need. You need a steady presence over there on your bench. You need somebody who's going to make the players feel at ease, not add more nervousness. But I think this Lady Colonel team, they've played in a bunch of these big arenas and some big games. I don't think they have any more nervousness at all, Bob. I think it's a team that's very comfortable in playing in these big games and big gyms. And like I said, some of that comes from games last year on these big courts. There's been some big volleyball games for a lot of these players on big courts like this as well. So, again, I think the comfort level is very high for the Lady Colonels in this one here today.
It should be fun. I can't wait. Altavista and Clintwood, the green wave of Clintwood out of Region D, another one of, I'm going to call them the Lunch Pail District, out of the Lonesome Pine. They'll be taking on the Altavista Colonels out of Region B. Can B be greater than D one more time today? We'll find out. It'll be the tip-off with Altavista and Clintwood in just a little bit. Kyle and I will be back with more on the Subway pregame show after this time out on 105.5 KD Country.
Earn extra cash and declutter your home by consigning with the Shops of Altavista. Call 369-5437 for more information on what consignment items are being accepted. The Shops of Altavista carry a wide variety of kids and ladies apparel, as well as home decor and furniture. Their deals are so awesome, they've nearly been shopped out. Call the Shops of Altavista today, 369-5437. Open Tuesday through Friday, 9:30 to 6 p.m., Saturday 10 to 3 p.m., Main Street, Altavista.
Heard of Moose? The Altavista Moose Family Center proudly supports Altavista High School athletics. Moose International is a family-centered, community-based organization that has been serving the Altavista area since 1952. The Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road in Altavista wants to wish the Colonel basketball teams good luck in the playoffs. Give the Moose Family Center a call at 369-6945 today to see how they're bringing together the Altavista community. Moose, a family fraternity.
You can buy paint from any old yahoo who knows nothing about paint in one of those big box stores. For quality paint from people who really know paint, it's Davis Paints from your complete home center, English's. Davis Paints, which has been known for quality since 1921, is not just sold anywhere. Visit the new paint room at English's, your authorized Davis Paint dealer.
English's is your complete home center.
On North Main Street, Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
One Colonel team's already got a victory here today from the Siegel Center. The Altavista boys won their game 46-27 over J.I. Burton. Another Colonel team hopes to knock off a Region D opponent. Region D from down there in Southwest Virginia, if you're not familiar. Lady Colonels getting ready to tee it up and tip it off against Clintwood. We're still about 16, 17 minutes away from that tip-off, but don't turn away here from the Subway pregame show. Plenty of great information. We're still going to have some final statistics and players of the game from the guys' game, and then a lot more to talk about. Preview this Lady Colonels matchup here a little bit more, tell you a little bit more about the auction. Plenty going on, and hopefully the Colonels can cap off a nice day of basketball here for Altavista complete the doubleheader sweep and get 2 teams in the state championship tomorrow. We'll have one more timeout. We'll have more than one, but we'll take another timeout here on the Subway pregame show. Lady Colonels in action about 15 minutes on 105.5 KD Country.
Get ready for dazzling ball handling tricks, high-flying slam dunks, and hilarious family comedy. Join the Harlem Ambassadors basketball show on Thursday, March 21st at Altavista High School as they take on the Rotary All-Stars. Get tickets for $5 at Subway and Steve Farmer's Auto Sales or at the door for $7. All proceeds benefit the Altavista Rotary Club Scholarship Fund. For more info, call 841-0063. The Harlem Ambassadors. It's not your grandfather's basketball show.
Try a variety of daily lunch specials priced under $4 at El Cazador Restaurant. The people that brought the first Mexican food to the area 13 years ago and still going strong 7 days a week. Come by for Mexican or American food, all reasonably priced, with drink specials and great service too. Voted best Mexican restaurant by you, their customers, El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, Main Street in Altavista. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant thanks you for your loyalty and your business.
The following is brought to you by English Construction Company.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Virginia high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too. This message presented by the Virginia High School League and the Virginia Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
I'm hungry. What are we doing for lunch?
E&S Mart.
E&S? I knew they had the best gas prices in town, but lunch too?
You can get 2 hot dogs, chips, and a drink for just $2.99.
$2.99? Wow!
Yep, high-quality Nathan's and Jesse Jones hot dogs with over 30 items on the topping bar, so you can load it up any way you want it.
I'm Mike Maddox. I'd like to invite you down to try the best hot dog in Altavista. Come on down.
E&S Mart, Lynch Mill Road, across from the elementary school.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Back here from the beautiful city, our capital, Richmond, Virginia. Bob Alvis, Kyle Haney. KH, now let's put the finishing touches on this one as the guys knock off J.I. Burton 47-26. I always like to call it the POG, the players of the game. And I will go first tonight from J.I. Burton. You know, Alex Keys only had 6 points, 3 of 8 from the floor, but I really thought he kind of provided a spark for them and seemed like the motor guy. So that's my choice for player of the game.
Yeah, I think good choice there by you. I'm going to go with Irvin Beatty, 14 points. And, hey, I mean, when your team only scores 26 and you score 14 of them, that's pretty impressive. And only 3 guys scoring for J.I. Burton total, which is a very impressive statistic about the Altavista defense. And just the one guy in double figures, that was Beatty. So I'm going to go with him as my pick for the J.I. Burton player of the game.
I'll let you go first on the other end.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Altavista had 3 guys in double figures, 5 scoring total, so it's not like they spread it out like crazy on their end. But I'm going to go with Demetrius Johnson. 12 points. Thought he was a big factor. He had a couple very nice layups there, the one with the pump fake and then the drive to the basket. That was impressive. Finger roll on the end of it. And I talked about it. He's sometimes overshadowed by Darius a little bit. Darius was the player of the year in the Dogwood District. But don't let that fool you. Demetrius can play, and he can play with the best of them. I mean, you know, it's like a 1A and a 1B situation there between the 2 Johnson brothers. And they both might even be 2 1As. I'm sure if he asked Demetrius, he'd say, yeah, I can take him any day of the week. But Demetrius Johnson, my pick for player of the game.
I'm going to 100% concur. I think Demetrius, you know, and I look at, like Coach Warden I talked about, what he does defensively when he's out on the wing. He might not be as valuable in terms of as if he were to rebound, but, you know, he's still valuable because that wingspan is making it tough to see over and to throw passes. So Demetrius gets my player of the game. Final scoring for Altavista, they scored 47, up their mark to 23-3. Michi Malbeck had 10. Juan Thornhill had 14. Demetrius Johnson had 12. Darius Johnson had 8. Eric Poindexter had 3. J.I. Burton finishes with Alex Keys with 6, Irvin Beatty with 14, and Riley Maggard with 6 as well. And that will wrap up the guys' coverage. Now on to the girls.